Sunday afternoon baseball is the set dressing for today's rubber match between the Joliet Slammers and your Evansville Otters. Hello, everybody. I'm Lucas Macklin, and thank you so much for joining me on this Sunday afternoon. The Otters looking for their first series win on the road, and they've got their ace on the mound. It's Braden Scott entering it with after 3 straight starts with a quality start, looking to sit down these slammer batters that have scored in double digits in both of these games. We'll take a quick look at last night's game where Joliet took the victory 11-4 after a 9-run fourth inning, set them ahead for the rest of the night. Garrett Simpson got his first professional start and looked really good through 3 innings, similar to what Pavin Parks looked like, but the fourth inning doomed both of them. He ended up giving up 9 hits with 7 runs, only walked 1 and struck out 5. That was the only batter the Otters pitchers walked all night. Yohan Gonzalez pitched 2 2/3 innings, giving up 3 runs, and Ross Thompson pitched the final 2 innings, only allowing 1 run, worked through some traffic after giving up 4 hits. Offensively, it was still another really good performance. Dennis Pierce at the top of the lineup went 3 for 5. Continuing his excellence this week. JT Benson had a couple of hits, and then LJ Jones, a double that scored 2, and a home run that scored 2. He had all four of Evansville's RBIs last night. And then Graham Brown, who will be at the top of the lineup today, hit the ball hard multiple times last night, multiple times sending outfielders to the warning track, but just couldn't find the gaps in the defense for Evansville. Mentioned that Braden Scott entering after 3 straight quality starts. After his first 4 starts that have been recorded, he finished without a decision. He has been the decider in the last 3 starts against Washington back on the 7th. Pitched 6 innings, gave up 1 run, gave up 5 hits, walked 5, and struck out 6 in the Evansville win. And then on June 12th against Lake Erie, he went 7 innings, giving up 6 hits, only allowed 3 runs, walked 2, and struck out 9, but got the loss because Evansville only managed 2 runs. And then against Washington back on the 17th, 7 innings, 2 runs, given up 2 walks, 9 Ks when he went a season-high 113 pitches in Evansville's 12-3 win over Washington. He is trying to set up Evansville once again for a good chance to win. They are 5-2 in his starts, and as I mentioned, he's gone over 100 pitches in every outing except for his first outing when he went 82 in a scoreless effort against Gateway. We'll take a short break here on the Otters Digital Network, and when we're back, we'll continue the Papa John's pregame show. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network and on 96.9 WYIR.
Maintaining our independence becomes more and more vital as we age. Swerka and More can help you navigate this important journey by answering your questions and connecting you to free and unbiased community resources and support services. If you are seeking advice for yourself or a loved one, let Swerka be your first call. More information available at swerka.org or by calling 812-464-7800. Originally opening in 2004, Jacobs Village has been a home for adults with disabilities, giving these great residents a wonderful opportunity to live life just like you and me. Jacobs Village mission is to continue building a safe, walkable neighborhood community where people with disabilities and older adults can find meaningful relationships, affordable and accessible housing, and activities to keep their bodies and minds engaged. We can't wait to have Jacobs Village at the ballpark on July 3rd for our annual Red, White, and Blue Night. More information on this great community partner is available at jacobsvillage.org. Right now in Vanderburgh County, over 800 children are in the child welfare system waiting for someone to be their voice, and you could be that voice by becoming a court-appointed special advocate, a CASA volunteer. Donating just a few hours a month of your time can change a child's life forever. Vanderburgh County CASA invites you to join them. Stand up, speak out, be for the child, be a CASA. For more information, visit vandcasa.com. That's VANDCasa.com. Ballet Indiana is made up of local ballet professionals, dedicated parents, and community members in order to provide unique and life-enriching experiences for hundreds of young dancers, while carrying out their mission to inspire a lifelong appreciation for dance for both our dancers and the Evansville community. More information on Ballet Indiana and information about their upcoming performances is available at balletindiana.org.
Welcome back into the Papa John's pregame show. Remember that Papa John's is the official sponsor of the Otters pregame and postgame shows, available every game night, 20 minutes before and 10 minutes after each Otters game on the Otters Digital Network, Home Team Network, and on 96.9 WYIR. Speaking of the Home Team Network, they are the exclusive home of every Frontier League game this year. So sign up today and get a front row seat to every Otters baseball game. We can go ahead and look at these starting lineups first for Joliet, a very similar lineup that we've seen through most of it. Batting leadoff and back in center field will be Liam MacArthur. Batting second and back at third base will be Ian Batty Paglia. Batting third and playing shortstop, Braylon Marine. Batting fourth and DHing the left-handed hitting Blake Berry, who has dominated the Otters through the first two games. Batting fifth and playing in left field will be Jose Contreras. Batting sixth and at second base, Antonio Valdez. Batting seventh and catching will be Brandon Heidel. Batting eighth and at first base, Jamie Smart. And rounding out Joliet's lineup will be the right fielder, Chris Davis. Starting for them will be Jordan Powell. He enters not as good as some of the other pitchers we've seen so far. He enters with an 8.79 ERA. We are here in Joliet, Illinois, against the Joliet Slammers as they take on the Evansville Otters. And you are listening to the Papa John's pregame show. Jordan Powell getting the start for Joliet, enters with an 8.79 ERA in 4 starts. He's pitched through 14 innings. He has struck out 17 and walked 20. So a guy who has struck out a lot of batters, a 10.7 per 9 rate, but also walked a lot of batters with a 12.6 walk per 9 rate. The Otters going to try to do their best to get through that, and the starting lineup for the Evansville Otters looks like this. Graham Brown at second base is leading it off. Batting second and at first base, David Mendham. At third and back in right field will be J.T. Benson. Batting fourth and in left field tonight will be L.J. Jones. Batting fifth and back at third base is Paven Parks. Batting sixth and DHing is Keenan Taylor. Seventh and at shortstop today will be J.J. Cruz. Batting eighth and catching his battery mate Braden Scott will be Justin Felix. And rounding out the lineup and in center field will be Ellis Schwartz, getting his first start of this road trip. Saw Dennis Pierce in the game on that double play. He is not playing due to injury today. No idea of the severity of it, but hopefully it is not a long-term injury. And the starter for the Evansville Otters, Braden Scott, coming in after 3 straight quality starts, 2 of them coming against Washington. Back on the 7th, he pitched 6 innings, gave up 1 run, struck out 6 in that quality start and victory. Then against Lake Erie on the road, went 7 innings, giving up only 3 runs, walking 2, and striking out 8. Unfortunately, that was a bad luck loss for him there. And then against Washington, back on the 17th, gave up 2 runs in 7 innings, walking 2, and striking out 9 batters. He tries to settle down these Joliet bats that have scored in double digits in both games this week. Evansville obviously looking to get those bats back and going after scoring 4 runs last night, trying to win their first road series of the year, and it's going to come on this Sunday afternoon. First pitch scheduled for 1:05 p.m. It is sunny. There are some sparse clouds within the sky, a wind that is blowing out towards center and a little bit towards left, but not nearly as strong as it was last night. We didn't see that play too much into the game last night. L.J. Jones, the only home run hit by either side. Joliet managed 18 hits on the night. Only 3 of them were extra base hits, 2 of them coming off the bat of Blake Berry, the other one from Dylan Goldstein, who is not in the lineup today. So Evansville sending out their best of bats that they can here. Mentioned that Justin Felix, the traditional battery mate of Braden Scott, it has worked out so far this year. He has caught every single Braden Scott game, and he will continue to do so. We got some more day games around the Frontier League. Windy City taking on Schaumburg. They'll send out Buddy Pendle, Windy City will, against Quentin Wiley for Schaumburg. New Jersey's taking on 3 Rivers in their 1:05 matchup. Lake Erie is playing Brockton at 1:30. Tri-City taking on Down East at 1:30. And then Sussex County at Quebec, that one starts at 5:05. Washington and Florence play their rubber match at 5:07. The Mississippi and Gateway at 5:30, and Ottawa and New York start at 6 p.m. Entering today's matchup, the Otters currently still 4.5 games back from Washington after they took a loss last night. But with Lake Erie's win, they are 2.5 games back from Lake Erie. Florence still 5.5 back at 16-21. Washington currently at 22-16, while the Evansville Otters enter at 17-20. Joliet entering at 20-18. They're currently 5 games back from the Schaumburg Boomers, trying to scratch back in that division. But both teams with a win last night, so they didn't get any closer. Quebec currently still leading the Frontier League at 30-8. They continue to be the dominant team in the Frontier League. We'll take a short break, and when we're back, we'll have the national anthem and first pitch. Thank you so much for listening or watching to the Papa John's pregame show. Remember that Papa John's is the official sponsor of the Otters pregame and postgame shows, available every game night, 20 minutes before and 10 minutes after each Otters game on the Otters Digital Network, Home Team Network, and on 96.9 WYIR.
Maintaining our independence becomes more and more vital as we age. Swerka and More can help you navigate this important journey by answering your questions and connecting you to free and unbiased community resources and support services. If you are seeking advice for yourself or a loved one, let Swerka be your first call. More information available at swerka.org or by calling 812-464-7800. Originally opening in 2004, Jacobs Village has been a home for adults with disabilities, giving these great residents a wonderful opportunity to live life just like you and me. Jacobs Village mission is to continue building a safe, walkable neighborhood community where people with disabilities and older adults can find meaningful relationships, affordable and accessible housing, and activities to keep their bodies and minds engaged. We can't wait to have Jacobs Village at the ballpark on July 3rd for our annual Red, White, and Blue Night. More information on this great community partner is available at jacobsvillage.org. Ballet Indiana is made up of local ballet professionals, dedicated parents, and community members in order to provide unique and life-enriching experiences for hundreds of young dancers, while carrying out their mission to inspire a lifelong appreciation for dance for both our dancers and the Evansville community. More information on Ballet Indiana and information about their upcoming performances is available at balletindiana.org.
And your starting pitcher for the Joliet Slammers, number 43, Jordan Powell. The Slammers are managed by Mike Pinto. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, please rise and move your caps for the singing of our national anthem by Becky Billingsley. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the
We are nearing the first pitch here in Joliet, Illinois at Dooley Health and Care Field. Jordan Powell takes the mound, wearing number 3. Powell on the mound. Brandon Heidel behind the plate. That pitcher and catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or call at 812-475-9000. So Graham Brown at the top of the lineup. It has not been, stats-wise, a good road trip for him so far, but man, has he hit the ball hard a ton, but the results just haven't followed. But he knows just as well as anybody he's got to stay mentally tough and keep attacking, because it's been working, but unfortunately the results just haven't found it, as the holes have not been there. It's Graham Brown, David Mindom, JT Benson, followed by LJ Jones, who had all 4 of Evansville's RBIs last night with a 2-out RBI double down the third baseline, then a 2-run shot that barely squeezed inside the foul pole. That was the only runs the Otters would score, but they threatened quite a bit. They still managed 12 hits on the night, but just couldn't push across as many runs as they would want to. Mentioned that Powell on the mound for Joliet. Played last year with the Dunedin Blue Jays, a part of the Blue Jays organization. Pitched in 16 games, none of those as starts. 18 innings, had an 11.5 ERA. And this year with Joliet, the 26-year-old currently with an 8.79 ERA and 4 starts. Not a traditional starter during his career within baseball, but trying to find that now. Graham Brown ready as he steps in the right-handed batter's box. Powell from the windup is going to deliver the first pitch. It is taken inside for a ball, and we have a first pitch at 1:04 p.m. is a ball to Graham Brown. Brown and Taylor still tied with 7 home runs on the year. Next pitch, that one runs high. Count evens up, or count runs to 2-0, I should say. That one up above the zone at 74 miles per hour. That one catches the zone up at 87. And now Powell back in the count, making the count 2-1. Powell previously played for in the Frontier League for Empire State and in the Pioneer League with Northern Colorado, as he pumps another strike. Count evens up at 2-2. Does not have a Frontier League win yet. He has an 0-7 record in his 2 seasons here. That 2-2 pitch is lifted high in the air into the infield. It's the catcher, Heidel, but the pitcher who's going to have to come and get it, Jordan Powell, in foul territory. And it is brought in for out number 1. Look, Heidel didn't quite read it. He was trying to get out of the way of Graham Brown, and Powell was the one to find it. And now with the 1 away, it's the first baseman, David Mindom. Mindom, the left-handed hitting first baseman, enters with a .519 on-base percentage, 14 walks to 9 strikeouts. First pitch taken for a strike. He'll start behind 0-1. Managed a couple of hits last night, as well as a walk. Takes that one just outside for a ball. It evens up at 1-1. Powell not going to blow you away with speed. More of a finesse pitcher. 1-1, fouled up and overhead. An overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it. But he does it very well when it comes to strikeouts. Mentioned 17 strikeouts on the year and 14 1/3 innings. Mindom calls time and resets himself. But also has 20 walks in that frame, which is not the number you want it to be at. But he's got a 1-2 count to David Mindom. Next pitch, he fouls that one off as he stays alive. Mindom up in the 2 hole today. Batted in the 7 hole in the first game. Should say 6 hole in the last game. Takes that pitch low for a ball, evens it back up at 2-2. And did not play in game 1 against the lefty Kynes. Now the 2-2, he fouls that one off, and we have a good battle here from David Mendham. The Otters, in their 7th game this week, had a doubleheader on Thursday. They have scored double digits in 3 of those games. Takes that outside for a ball, and now he has a full count. The other 3, they got shut out against Washington the first game of the doubleheader, scored 6 against Washington, and then scored 4 against Joliet last night. Now the payoff pitch inside for ball 4, and we have a 1-out walk for David Mendham. So he'll threaten with J.T. Benson coming up to the plate. Back in right field tonight after playing center field last night. Powell will ask for a new baseball. This will be the first time he'll pitch from the stretch today. The final game of this 3-game set against Joliet before taking on Gateway in the weekday set next week. First pitch, that one is popped up into foul territory, but it's going to get out of play, and Benson will start behind 0-1. Powell set from the stretch. The 0-1 took a lot off of that one, but it stays high. Count evens up at 1-1. That pitch was way above the zone, up at 60 or down at 61 miles per hour. Willing to take plenty off of it. Next pitch swinging as Benson comes up with nothing. Count moves to 1-2. Powell set and delivers the 1-2 pitch. It's called strike 3 as Benson tried to get out of the way of it. That one was, according to TrackMan, a little bit above the zone, but it's called strike 3, and now it's 2 away. It's up to L.J. Jones. Benson thought for sure it was ball 2, but the home plate umpire, Jacob Kakik, did not agree. Now it's L.J. Jones, fresh off his 4 RBI performance last night. He'll take the first pitch low for a ball. Starts ahead 1-0. Powell sets and delivers. That one runs high. Now Jones ahead 2-0. Next one just catches the inside part of the plate, and Jones now ahead 2-1. That one was a top corner 84 mile per hour fastball. That one's a chopper towards third. Batty Paglia will bring it in. He'll make the toss over to first in time for out number 3. So the Otters get a runner via the walk, but can't do anything with it. We'll head to the bottom of the first where Braden Scott will take the mound. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network and on 96.9 WYIR.
Right now in Vanderburgh County, over 800 children are in the child welfare system waiting for someone to be their voice, and you could be that voice by becoming a court-appointed special advocate, a CASA volunteer. Donating just a few hours a month of your time can change a child's life forever. Vanderburgh County CASA invites you to join them. Stand up, speak out, be for the child, be a CASA. For more information, visit vandcasa.com. That's VAND-CASA.com. Maintaining our independence becomes more and more vital as we age. Swerka and More can help you navigate this important journey by answering your questions and connecting you to free and unbiased community resources and support services. If you are seeking advice for yourself or a loved one, let Swerka be your first call. More information available at swerka.org or by calling 812-464-7800. Originally opening in 2004, Jacobs Village has been a home for adults with disabilities, giving these great residents a wonderful opportunity to live life just like you and me. Jacobs Village mission is to continue building a safe, walkable neighborhood community where people with disabilities and older adults can find meaningful relationships, affordable and accessible housing, and activities to keep their bodies and minds engaged. We can't wait to have Jacobs Village at the ballpark on July 3rd for our annual Red, White, and Blue Night. More information on this great community partner is available at jacobsvillage.org.
Welcome back into Joliet, Illinois. Braden Scott steps onto the mound. Justin Felix behind the plate. That pitcher and catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or call it 812-475-9000. So Liam MacArthur, the first to meet Braden Scott, as he'll start with a first pitch fastball that misses outside for a ball. So Scott will work behind 1-0. Next one, that catches the zone, evens it up at 1-1. Same place, maybe a little bit higher in the zone. Different call. Now the 1-1 pitch. Bender just missed inside, just didn't get back into it in time. Now the count moves to 2-1. Scott on the far third base side of the rubber. His short windup. Now the pitch in there for a strike, and now he's evened it up at 2-2. Mentioned that Scott, one of the mainstays in this Otters rotation for a long time, and has really found his stride as MacArthur fouls that one off to stay alive. These last three starts have been fantastic for him, earning 2 wins in those 3 starts. The other one, a bad luck loss. And now he's got a 2-2 pitch to the Slammers center fielder, and he gets one off the end of the bat, but puts it just past the infielders up the middle, and it will be a leadoff base hit for MacArthur, and will lead to Batty Paglia, who at third base tonight continues to be an extremely tough out. I have him going down 5 for 5 with 5 singles last night, although the official score gave him 4 hits, gave an error somewhere. First pitch fouled off overhead, an overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it. A couple of infield singles, a bloop fly into right field. Also managed a couple of hard hits. But when he gets on the base paths, he is trouble. Now the 0-1 pitch, he fouls that one off, and now he's behind 0-2. Scott hunting the zone early. That first hit was 67 miles per hour off the end of the bat from MacArthur. Just found the hole, which is what Joliet did so well last night. 0-2 pitch, runs inside. Batty Paglia backs up on it. It's a 2-1 count. The Slammers' third baseman entering with a .427 on-base percentage. Not a home run on the year, but just a guy who does great getting on base. Next one just misses low, so it evens it up at 2-2. And he's proven it by being an extremely tough out all weekend. Game 1 went 2 for 5, stolen base there. Next pitch, that one's laced into right field. That one is going to get down just in front of Benson. He'll cut it off. MacArthur is going to go from first to third. Not going to be a throw, and now there are runners on the corners with no one away here in this first inning. Now it's Braylon Marine. Marine last night mostly quiet. Did manage a hit in his last at bat, but otherwise went 1 for 4. Had a sac fly, a couple of RBIs for him. Now he's got runner on the corners. Quick check over at first. Batty Paglia back in time after he took a step towards second first, but then got back in time. Again, this Joliet team doesn't hit a ton of extra base hits, but it's more of a death by 1,000 cuts. And we've seen that already in the first inning. Batty Paglia, pitch out, throw it in the second, in the dirt, not in time. So even the pitch out, not able to get him. And Marine's going to start with a 1-0 count with runners on second and third and still no one away here in this first inning. So now Scott's going to have to work out of some trouble. He's set from the stretch, the 1-0 pitch. That one's laced into right field. Benson on his way back to the track, to the wall. He brings it in at the wall. MacArthur will score from third. Batty Paglia was not tagging up. And so a sac fly for Braylon Marine will bring in the first run of the game. And with one away, Batty Paglia is still at second base. We'll bring in Blake Berry. Berry with 4 hits this weekend. And opposed to everybody else, all 4 of them have been doubles. First pitch, Bender finds the zone, and Braden Scott ahead 0-1. So the first time this weekend, the Otters playing from the Otters not scoring first. They scored first in both of the first 2 games, but not here. Now the 0-1 pitch to Berry is lifted high in the air towards left. Jones' first step is out, then in, and he will bring it in for out number 2. Batty Paglia not tagging up again. That one was too short to get there anyways. And with 2 away, and that runner still at second base, brings up Jose Contreras. And after having runners at second and third with no one away, if Scott can get out of this inning with only allowing 1 run, what a momentum boost for him in this outing. But he's got to get Jose Contreras first, who had an excellent Game 1. Game 2 didn't play as well. Struck out 2 times. First pitch swinging, a Bender pulled the string on him, and out in front of it was Contreras. He's behind 0-1. Both of these pitchers able to manipulate the speed of their pitches. Obviously, Scott we've seen all year. Jordan Powell with the knuckleball in his arsenal. Now the 0-1 pitch in there for a strike, and now Contreras behind 0-2 has to battle. 89 miles per hour at the bottom part of the zone. Scott looking into Felix. Now he's set. And the 0-2 pitch into the Slammers left fielder. Runs inside, just misses, but is called a ball. Count at 1-2 now. Scott trying to limit the damage in this first inning. He's worked through a lot of traffic through different starts this year. He's done so well with it. Now he's got a 1-2 count to Contreras. That he fouls that one off, and we'll do it again. Contreras 3 hits with 4 RBIs in Game 1. Last night did manage a couple of hits. 1-2, swing and a miss for strike 3. Pulled the string, got him out in front. And Jose Contreras goes down swinging for the first German-American strikeout of the game for Braden Scott. He does give up 1, but works through some traffic effectively. We'll head to the second. Otters trailing 1-0. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network and on 96.9 WYIR.
Right now in Vanderburgh County, over 800 children are in the child welfare system waiting for someone to be their voice, and you could be that voice by becoming a court-appointed special advocate, a CASA volunteer. Donating just a few hours a month of your time can change a child's life forever. Vanderburgh County CASA invites you to join them. Stand up, speak out, be for the child, be a CASA. For more information, visit vandcasa.com. That's VAND CASA.com. Ballet Indiana is made up of local ballet professionals, dedicated parents, and community members in order to provide unique and life-enriching experiences for hundreds of young dancers, while carrying out their mission to inspire a lifelong appreciation for dance for both our dancers and the Evansville community. More information on Ballet Indiana and information about their upcoming performances is available at balletindiana.org.
The Otters back to bat here in the top of the second inning. It'll be Paven Parks, Keenan Taylor, and J.J. Cruz to meet the knuckleballer Jordan Powell. Obviously has a lot of intrigue when you can throw that knuckleball, but has had trouble controlling his pitches overall this year. As I mentioned, a very high walk per nine rate, but a high strikeout per nine rate. The Slammers hoping that he can lock it in here against this Otters offense that has been so good this week. And it's Paven Parks the first to meet him. He'll step into the left-handed batter's box. Game one, such a huge game for him. Had 5 strikeouts on the mound and also managed 5 RBIs with a couple of long balls. Now trying to get the Otters started here in the second inning. Powell from the windup delivers the first pitch. That one outside for a ball. And he starts behind 1-0. Powell, not a guy who uses the knuckleball as his primary pitch, but more of a potentially strikeout pitch. That one just catches the top of the zone, and count evens up at 1-1. Haven't seen him throw it a ton in this game. Threw it 2 or 3 times in that first inning. Next pitch, there it was. Pulled the string, and now he's at a Paven 1-2. Parks will call time. That was a nasty pitch. Just missing the outside part of the zone. Got Parks out in front. Now he has to work from behind. The 1-2 pitch. Laced down the first base line, but just foul, and we'll do 1-2 again. Last night for Paven Parks out of the DH spot. Went 1 for 3, drew a walk, scored a run. Did strike out once. The 1-2 just fouled off that knuckleball. We'll do 1-2 again. I mean, it's such a tough pitch to read. That one started shifting towards the inside of the plate, but Paven doing a good job fouling that one off. And here's the next 1-2 pitch. He lifts that one high into the foul territory. It's a third baseman, Batty Paglia, who couldn't get a read on it. And once again, we'll do 1-2 again. Paven continuing this long AB. This will be the 7th pitch of the at-bat for Powell. He's ready. Move to his windup and the pitch. That one misses low, and it evens up at 2-2. Seen Paven a lot not go down easily, and showing it once again here. The Otters trailing 1-0 in the second inning. Still no one away. Parks the first one to meet Powell this inning. He takes the next pitch high for a ball, and now we'll have a payoff pitch. Here is that payoff pitch. That one runs high, so a 9-pitch walk for Paven Parks will be the leadoff runner to reach, and now it's Keenan Taylor stepping to the plate. Pair hits in game one, went 1 for 4 last night. Trying to respond after Braden Scott gave up a run in that first inning. First pitch up and in, and he'll start ahead 1-0. That went up at 83 miles per hour. We've seen Powell get up 84, 85, even 87 if he wants to rear back. That pitch That one is fouled up overhead, an overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it. Taylor just a little bit out ahead of that 84-mile-per-hour pitch. A check over at Pavin at first, nothing doing. Pavin over at first, a guy who will steal bases, and you wonder if against this knuckleballer he'll be likely to go. There he goes. Next pitch, a slow pitch on the outside part of the plate, and he's in there for a stolen base. Pavin Parks. And they are pushing the pace on this pitcher. The pitch was taken outside for a ball, so the count at 2-1 for Taylor. A 71-mile-per-hour knuckler. Next one, up at 81, blew it by him, and now we're even at 2-2. Runner at second, no one away here in the second inning. Pavin the tying run over at second. Powell will look into his catcher, Heidel, and now he's set on the first base side of the rubber. The pitch, that one just misses low and away, and now we have a full count, second of the inning. The Otters doing what they do best, making this pitcher work. Payoff pitch. Parks takes off. It's a ball four, and it's a stolen base. So add another stolen base for Pavin Parks and a walk, and now we have runners on the corners with no one away. Back-to-back walks. And that will lead to J.J. Cruz. Didn't play last night in his first game. In the first game of the series, went 2 for 5, had a single and a double. And now has a chance here to tie this game up for Evansville. First pitch taken outside for a ball, and he jumps ahead 1-0. This is what we saw with Jordan Powell throughout the season. Struggling with walks, but can dial up the nastiness. The next pitch, Taylor takes off, throw it in a second. That one is going to be in time. And so Taylor thrown out trying to steal. That pitch was ruled a strike, so the count even up at 1-1. Powell went with an 86-mile-per-hour fastball, allowing their catcher Heidel to catch Taylor stealing. So with one away and a runner at third, Cruz lifts that one high into the air. A pop-up just behind the plate brought in by the catcher. And quickly now there are 2 away with that runner still at third base. Now it's Justin Felix. He's going to need a base hit or a mistake here from Powell to score that runner from third. From the windup, Powell, the first pitch. That one bends too far out, and Justin Felix will start ahead 1-0. Now Powell going to get a new baseball and mess with the rosin bag. Felix, a guy that's willing to draw walks. Can also jump on a pitch if you leave it over the middle of the plate. The 1-0, he swings through that one, but was out in front of it. Counts even at 1-1. The next pitch to the Otters catcher. He swings through that one, and now he has to fight from behind 1-2. That last pitch at 72 miles per hour. And next, the 1-2 pitch from Powell. He swings through that one and gets Felix swinging. So Jordan Powell works out of some trouble. The Otters get a runner to third with no one out, but can't score him. We'll head to the bottom of the second inning. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network and on 96.9 WYIR.
Maintaining our independence becomes more and more vital as we age. Swerka and more can help you navigate this important journey by answering your questions and connecting you to free and unbiased community resources and support services. If you are seeking advice for yourself or a loved one, let Swerka be your first call. More information available at swerka.org or by calling 812 464 7800. Originally opening in 2004, Jacobs Village has been a home for adults with disabilities, giving these great residents a wonderful opportunity to live life just like you and me. Jacobs Village mission is to continue building a safe, walkable neighborhood community where people with disabilities and older adults can find meaningful relationships, affordable and accessible housing, and activities to keep their bodies and minds engaged. We can't wait to have Jacobs Village at the ballpark on July 3rd for our annual Red, White, and Blue Night. More information on this great community partner is available at jacobsvillage.org.
Back here in Joliet, here in the bottom of the second inning, it's Braden Scott back on the mound as he will try to keep this one-run deficit for Evansville where it's at. It'll be the switch hitting Antonio Valdez to meet him first. The first time we'll see him hit from the right side of the plate. Felix with his throw down to second, and we are ready to get this second inning started for Braden Scott. Did give up a run in that last inning, but after having runners on second and third with no one out, managed to only give up one run in that inning, and hopefully he can lock it in and keep this deficit where it's at for Evansville. Valdez steps into the box, is crowding that home plate. The first pitch swings through that bender, and he starts behind 0-1. Great backdoor curve from Braden Scott. Now he's got an 0-1 count. His windup and the pitch up at 89 fouls that one off, and now we're Valdez at a 0-2 count. Went from 74 in that first pitch to 89 on the second pitch. Now he can do anything with whatever he wants here. The 0-2 pitch blew it up at 91, but Valdez was able to foul that one off, and we'll do it again. Valdez played in both games this weekend. Last night managed 3 hits in 5 at-bats. Next one runs too high, and now the count will move to 1-2. Game 1 went 1 for 4, but had that 2 RBI double. And now he lifts that one high into the air towards left, but that one's going to hook out of play, and we'll do it again. Scott set once again. He's ready to deliver the next 1-2 pitch into the switch hitting Antonio Valdez. That one runs inside and it's going to hit him. Again, he's crowding the plate. That one just went a little bit too far inside, and now a hit by pitch has the leadoff hitter on for the second inning in a row for Joliet. And that's the catcher, Brandon Heidel. Caught Keenan Taylor stealing and brought in the pop-up to record the first 2 outs of the top of the second inning. So Scott, from the stretch, the first pitch. Heidel fouls that one off, and he'll start behind 0-1. Scott in his 9th start of the season, but only 8 of them being recorded since one of those games still in suspension. That one came against Lake Erie back at home, and it will resume the next time Lake Erie comes to town. Now the 0-1 pitch runs high. Count evens up at 1-1. Valdez over at first base. Saw a couple of stolen bases from Joliet last inning. Scott staring down Valdez, now comes to the plate. He pulls a string, and Heidel fouls that one off, and now he'll have to fight from behind 1-2. Valdez 5 for 7 on stolen base attempts this year. Last year was 15 for 19 for Joliet. Next pitch. Just misses high. So the count evens up at 2-2. Scott looking into Felix now. He's set once again. Still staring down the runner at first, Valdez. Now comes to the plate. That one goes outside. Now we have a full count. Heidel, the 23-year-old catcher in his second year for Joliet, has raised his OBP from 274 last year to 404 in 26 appearances. Now Valdez takes off, but Heidel fouls that one off, and we'll do it again. With that full count, trying to run to stay out of a double play. Heidel played 4 seasons with the Oakland Golden Grizzlies, had a .288 batting average, a .405 on base percentage. So his OBP this year more in line with what it was like during college. Now he's into the right-handed batter's box with a full count against the Otters starter Braden Scott. The next pitch just misses inside, and back-to-back free passes have runners on first and second with no one out. So the first 2 runners reach again for Braden Scott. He's going to have to work through some traffic in this second inning. Now it's Jamie Smart, the 6'4" towering first baseman. Stands into the left-handed batter's box in his 29-year-old season. Scott, the first pitch, and I believe a pitch clock violation is what they're calling. So they will, and the count's going to start with a 1-0 count. A little bit of PTSD from the bulk calls, but just a pitch clock violation, so Scott's going to start behind Smart 1-0. So Scott set and ready. The first pitch. That one's taken outside, and with the pitch clock violation, now he's at 2-0 count. That bender just missed outside. Looked like it actually caught the plate, but according to the home plate umpire, he said it's ball 2, and now Scott stepping off the mound. Now he's back ready, trying to work through this jam, the second one in as many innings. So Scott looks in to Justin Felix. Now he's set with a 2-0 count to the Slammers' first baseman. Swings through that one, and he's back in the count at 2-1. Scott's 4th stint here with the Evansville Otters. Last year, started 20 games, had a 4.17 ERA and 121 innings. A former Indiana Hoosier. We saw Ty Ryberchick, former Hoosier as well, last night. Smart swings through that one, and now the count evens up at 2-2. Scott also spent a couple of years with the Blue Jays organization. The other starter also spent time within the Blue Jays organization. For him, that was last year. So now a 2-2 count to Jamie Smart. That pitch swung on a miss for strike 3. Another German-American bank strikeout, his second of the game. And with one away, it'll be the 9-hole hitter, Chris Davis. Davis did not start in last night's game, did get a plate appearance. He flew out to center field in the 8th inning. Now the first pitch, he swings at that one. He fouls that one off overhead, an overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it. Runners on first and second, one out here in the bottom of the second inning. Otters trailing 1-0. Next pitch fouls that one off, and now Chris Davis behind 0-2. Davis played his last 2 collegiate seasons at Duke in his senior season in 41 games at a .216 batting average. Did have a .362 OBP with 24 walks. In his second year as a Joliet Slammer, that one is fouled off and he stays alive. Played 2 seasons in the United Shore League for the Birmingham Bloomfield Beavers before joining Joliet last year in 2014. This year entering with a 347 OBP, 7 doubles, 3 triples. Takes that one high, and the count moved to 1-2. Standing at 5'9" batting after the 6'4" Jamie Smart. The 1-2 pitch to Davis. He swung on a miss for strike 3. Back-to-back German-American Bank strikeouts, and with 2 away, it'll be back to the top of the lineup in Liam MacArthur. So Scott trying to work through early traffic again. He'll have to go through Liam MacArthur, who did single his last time up, albeit a very, very soft, lucky single. But if he does it again, it will extend the lead. First pitch taken outside for a ball. He'll start behind 1-0. He would eventually come around to score on the sac fly from Braylon Marine. The next pitch is fouled off, and he'll even it up at 1-1. So Scott, lefty v lefty here. The 1-1 pitch is taken for a strike. And he's 1 strike away from getting out of this inning unharmed. MacArthur last night 2 for 4, was hit by a pitch, scored 2 runs, already has a run scored today. And now the 1-2 pitch from Braden Scott. Fouls that one off, and he stays alive. This is what Joliet does so well. Adverse to what their name would suggest, the Joliet Slammers, the team so far, at least from what we've seen, just do a great job at getting on base, working counts, not being easy outs. Next pitch just misses outside. MacArthur holds off, and he'll even it up at 2-2. Scott trying to find a way to get MacArthur out here. He's set, ready, and delivers. That one is fouled back, and we'll do it again. MacArthur in his 3rd year for Joliet. Played 92 games in 2023 and 96 games in 2024. Obviously early in the season, but so far having his best season as a Slammer. A .410 OBP, 26 walks. Also has 2 home runs. That one, swing and a miss for strike 3. Got him on the slider outside. 3 straight German-American Bank strikeouts for Braden Scott, and he gets out of the inning without surrendering a run. We'll head to the 3rd. Otters still trailing 1-0. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network. and on 96.9 WYIR.
Right now in Vanderburgh County, over 800 children are in the child welfare system waiting for someone to be their voice, and you could be that voice by becoming a court-appointed special advocate, a CASA volunteer. Donating just a few hours a month of your time can change a child's life forever. Vanderburgh County CASA invites you to join them. Stand up, speak out, be for the child, be a CASA. For more information, visit vandcasa.com. That's VAND Ballet Indiana is made up of local ballet professionals, dedicated parents, and community members in order to provide unique and life-enriching experiences for hundreds of young dancers, while carrying out their mission to inspire a lifelong appreciation for dance for both our dancers and the Evansville community. More information on Ballet Indiana and information about their upcoming performances is available at balletindiana.org.
Ellis Schwartz back in the lineup today for the first time during this weekend. Will lead it off here in the third inning. It's Schwartz, then back to the top of the lineup in Graham Brown and David Mendo. Schwartz, a guy who we've talked about all year since he's been here, just takes really good at bats, does a good job at not being an easy out, and he has some pop in that back with a couple of doubles already in this season. Only making his 8th appearance during this year. 5 walks to just 3 strikeouts. So we'll see how he does against this starter. And Jordan Powell is trying to have a better start than he had in the past. Although in his last start against Washington went 4 2/3 and only gave up 2 runs. Did walk 4 and struck out 7. But in the prior starts gave up 4 against Mississippi and walked 5. Gave up 7 in just an inning of work against Schaumburg when he walked 7. First pitch taken outside for a ball, and Schwartz starts ahead 1-0. Longest he's gone in an outing is 4 2/3. And now he's got a 1-0 count to the Otters center fielder. That one stays high, and now it's a 2-0 count. The Otters trying to get back in this one as they trail 1-0 here in the third inning. Next pitch, that one just catches the top part of the zone. Counts now 2-1. Next pitch, ripped down the first base line. That's inside for a fair ball. That one gets all the way to the corner. Schwartz is going to head to second. He's rounding second. He's going to go for 3. Throw in from third to third is not going to be in time as it's not brought in. A leadoff triple for Ellis Schwartz. And the Otters have a runner on third with no one out for the second inning in a row. Schwartz just barely put that ball inside the first base bag, and the Otters are cooking here in the third inning with a chance to tie this game up, and it's Graham Brown. First pitch is taken low for a ball, and he'll start ahead of Powell 1-0. That one came off the bat at 98 miles per hour. Next one, Brown ahead of that one and comes up with nothing, and the count evens up at 1-1. He fouls that one off, and now the count at 1-2. The Otters got a runner to third base with no one out in the last inning and couldn't push him across. Trying not to do the same thing here. Brown with a 1-2 count awaits. That one runs outside, and now it evens it up at 2-2. That Schwartz triple, the first hit of the game for Evansville. They had drawn 3 walks already. 2 in the last inning, 1 in the first. Now the 2-2 stays inside, and now we have another full count. Powell looks in, and now he's ready. The payoff pitch lifted high in the air towards left. Contreras is going to move over to his right. He will bring it in medium depth. They're going to send Schwartz. Throw to the plate. It's not going to be cut off, but it's not going to be in time, and the Otters have their first run of the ball game. We are tied at 1-1 here in the top of the third inning after the sac fly from Graham Brown. And with one away, it will be to David Mendham, who walked his first time up. So Graham doing what he needed to do there and getting that runner in from third. It's a brand new ball game here in Joliet. Still early. Now it's David Mendham. The first pitch runs inside, and he has to get out of the way of that one. And he starts ahead 1-0. Mendham, during his very early of the season, only his 14th game of the year. Next pitch runs outside. Now he's at 2-0. Dealt with that knee injury for a few weeks. Does have a home run that he hit against, or hit back in Bosse Field, I should say. 2-0, pulled the string, and he's out in front. Powell back in the count at 2-1. Ripped up the middle. That's going to be through for a base hit. So another hit for the Otters. Their second of the inning, second of the game, and they've got another runner on for J.T. Benson. Benson struck out looking on a pitch up above the zone in his first at-bat. The Otters trying to do some more damage here, trying to get into the starter early. Force Joliet into their bullpen. First pitch, a knuckler way outside. Benson starts ahead 1-0. Benson in the 3-hole once again. The spot he's been in pretty much this entire week. Takes that one for a strike. Just caught the top part of the zone. It's even up at 1-1. And they're going to throw out someone from the Otters dugout. I think it might have been TJ. They're going to throw out, I believe, TJ Zarsiewicz, the hitting coach, who has been barking. Obviously, it's still early, so he hasn't been doing it, for 3 hours, but a couple of these pitches have been so iffy. The home plate umpire, Jacob Cackett, initially tried to get him to stop and then threw him out. And now TJ's still talking with him. McCauley's over there, now having a chat with the home plate umpire. So that's going to do it for the Otters hitting coach. That last pitch was maybe nipped at the zone, but it was up in the zone. That's for sure. And now the catcher Heidel, after talking with his pitcher, is going to step back behind home plate. TJ still trying to chirp before he walks out. So now the home plate umpire standing a little bit off towards the right, as the Otters want to get back into play, trying to get back into it now. Cackett will step back behind the catcher. It is a 1-1 count still to J.T. Benson. Runner at first is David Mendham after his single back up the middle. Next pitch to Benson. That one's called a strike. And, well, the Otters aren't going to like that one, as that one's even higher. Now the count's at 1-2. So Benson, the unfortunate party of some of these calls. Now the 1-2 pitch ripped right towards the second baseman. Valdez will throw it to short for one. Throw to first. That's going to be just in time for a double play. 96 off the bat. Just the unfortunate spot. But the Otters do get one to crawl it back. They tied it up at 1. We head to the bottom of the third. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network and at 96.9 WYIR.
Maintaining our independence becomes more and more vital as we age. Swerka and more can help you navigate this important journey by answering your questions and connecting you to free and unbiased community resources and support services. If you are seeking advice for yourself or a loved one, let Swerka be your first call. More information available at swerka.org or by calling 812-464-7800. Originally opening in 2004, Jacobs Village has been a home for adults with disabilities, giving these great residents a wonderful opportunity to live life just like you and me. Jacobs Village mission is to continue building a safe, walkable neighborhood community where people with disabilities and older adults can find meaningful relationships, affordable and accessible housing, and activities to keep their bodies and minds engaged. We can't wait to have Jacobs Village at the ballpark on July 3rd for our annual Red, White, and Blue Night. More information on this great community partner is available at jacobsvillage.org.
Braden Scott out there for his third inning of work. Done very well working through some traffic as he tries to get a clean inning. Led off with a hit by pitch and a walk before striking out the side afterwards. He enters the third inning with 4 strikeouts already to his name. And the first one to meet him in this inning is going to be the third baseman, Ian Batty Paglia, who, according to the scorekeeper, is 5 for 6 in his last 6 at-bats, but has reached in all 6. He continues to just get on base. And now it's Scott trying to find a way to get him out. First pitch is taken for a ball. That one, ooh. After getting some of those strikes called out of the zone, you want those called in the zone. He went on that one. Now it evens up at 1-1. That first pitch was dotted up on the outside corner. Next pitch just runs inside. Now it moves to 2-1. Batty Paglia swings at that one, comes up with nothing. Now we're even at 2-2. Paglia singled, then stole second base, even on a pitch out. He just is so hard to throw out. 2-2, lifts that one into right field. Benson out on it, then in on it, and will bring it in for out number 1. So the first time in this game, Scott records an out on the leadoff hitter. And with one away, it's Braylon Marine. Marine steps into the right-handed batter's box. The sac fly, the run for Joliet. First pitch, he pops that one up and overhead for an overhead foul ball. Brought to you by Hedge Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it. Next pitch in there for a strike, and now he's behind 0-2 and has to battle. So Marine steps out, takes his time, and now resets back into the right-handed batter's box. Another one of the batters that just crowds that home plate. 0-2 pitch, checked his swing, but he went. Called strike 3 either way. A 5th German-American-baked strikeout for Braden Scott, and quickly with 2 away in this inning, leads to the DH Blake Berry. Berry flew out to left field in his first at-bat. Again, 4 hits, 4 doubles for Berry in this weekend series so far. First pitch just misses low, and Berry starts ahead 1-0. Now Scott ready from the windup, delivers the next pitch. That one catches the zone, and it evens up at 1-1. The Otters trying to get their first road series win of the season in this rubber match. That one runs low, and now the count moves to 2-1. Still very early in this ball game, knotted up at 1 here in the bottom of the third inning. 2 away for Joliet as Barry pounds out on the ground towards third. Pavin on the run, throw to first in time. What a play from Pavin Parks, moving to his left to snag it and make the throw to first, throwing across his body. And a 1-2-3 inning for Braden Scott, and we head to the fourth, knotted up at 1. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network and on 96.9 WYIR.
Right now in Vanderburgh County, over 800 children are in the child welfare system waiting for someone to be their voice, and you could be that voice by becoming a court-appointed special advocate, a CASA volunteer. Donating just a few hours a month of your time can change a child's life forever. Vanderburgh County CASA invites you to join them. Stand up, speak out, be for the child, be a CASA. For more information, visit vandcasa.com. That's VANDCASA.com. Ballet Indiana is made up of local ballet professionals, dedicated parents, and community members in order to provide unique and life-enriching experiences for hundreds of young dancers, while carrying out their mission to inspire a lifelong appreciation for dance for both our dancers and the Evansville community. More information on Ballet Indiana and information about their upcoming performances is available at balletindiana.org.
Back here in Joliet at Dooley Health and Care Field, Jordan Powell out there for his fourth inning of work. Did give up that run after the triple from Ellis Schwartz, but other than that, he has worked very well through this Otters lineup. Has allowed 3 walks and a couple of hits, but has managed to work through it, only giving up that 1 run on the Graham Brown sac fly. Both runs for both teams coming off sac flies. Managed the double play to JT Benson to get out of last inning. And he'll meet LJ Jones first, who has been red hot this week, hit a home run last night, and also that 2 RBI double, the lone damage for the Otters last night. So Powell is ready from the windup, delivers the first pitch. That one runs too low, and Jones starts ahead 1-0. The Otters with a leadoff runner the last 2 innings. And now that one runs way too far outside, and now it's a 2-0 count to LJ Jones. Back in the first inning, they got a runner on with 1 away. Joliet, up until the last inning, had done the same. Leadoff runners in the first 2 innings. And that one's ripped into left field, but just hit too hard to the left fielder Contreras. And a loud out number 1 for the Otters. 107 off the bat on the 87-mile-per-hour fastball. Just a little bit off from being middle. But now it's to Pavin Parks, who walked and stole 2 bases in his last time up. It was a 9-pitch at-bat for him to draw that walk. First pitch taken low for a ball, and he'll start ahead 1-0. Parks, the 6-foot utility player out of Akron, Ohio, takes the next pitch for a ball. Count moves to 2-0. Seen him pitch in this series. Seen him hit home runs in this series. Saw him take a walk earlier in this game. The 2-0, that one runs outside. Now a 3-0 count as Powell is struggling to find the zone in this inning. And when he did, it was a fastball, essentially middle, that LJ Jones hit 107 off the bat. Just fortunate it went right to his defense. Now the 3-0. Pavin checked his swing, but it's in there for a strike. Powell in the count at 3-1 now. The 3-1 swung through it, did Parks, and now we have a full count. Both of those were fastballs just to get over the plate. And now the count full to the Otters' third baseman today. He just made a fantastic play over at third to end the last inning. The payoff pitch, that one stays high for ball 4. So another payoff pitch walk for Pavin Parks, his second walk of the game, the 4th surrendered by Powell. And with one away, it's Keenan Taylor. Taylor also walked his first time up, but then was caught stealing, trying to steal second base when Parks was over at third. Powell from the stretch, the first pitch. That one's hit high in the air towards right. It is the second baseman Valdez going out, then the right fielder Davis who will call him off and bring it in for out number 2. First pitch fly out for Evansville, and with 2 away, it'll bring in J.J. Cruz. "92 degrees here in Joliet with plenty of sun, still some wind, not as much as we had last night, but still some wind that is pushing into the outfield towards center. First pitch taken for a strike at the top part of the zone, and Cruz starts behind 0-1. Haven Parks over at first, already has 2 stolen bases in this game. Check over at first, nothing doing. Could see him run here. Count is at 1-0 for J.J. Cruz. Cruz popped out to the catcher in his first time up. That pitch, that one's laced into left center field. That one's going to tail towards the left fielder Contreras, who will bring it in on the run for out number 3. So a couple of hard hit balls and a walk, but can't push any across. We're still knotted up at 1. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network and on 96.9 WYIR.
Maintaining our independence becomes more and more vital as we age. Swerka and More can help you navigate this important journey by answering your questions and connecting you to free and unbiased community resources and support services. If you are seeking advice for yourself or a loved one, let Swerka be your first call. More information available at swerka.org or by calling 812-464-7800. Originally opening in 2004, Jacobs Village has been a home for adults with disabilities, giving these great residents a wonderful opportunity to live life just like you and me. Jacobs Village mission is to continue building a safe, walkable neighborhood community where people with disabilities and older adults can find meaningful relationships, affordable and accessible housing, and activities to keep their bodies and minds engaged. We can't wait to have Jacobs Village at the ballpark on July 3rd for our annual Red, White, and Blue Night. More information on this great community partner is available at jacobsvillage.org.
Braden Scott back out there in the bottom of the 4th inning. He has worked fantastic through 3, given up 5 strikeouts, has allowed a walk, and did hit a batter. But last inning went 1-2-3 with a fly out to right, a strikeout, and a ground out to third. And now he tries to do it again. He has set down 6 straight Joliet slammers since giving up that hit by pitch and then the walk. And it will be the left fielder Jose Contreras, followed by Antonio Valdez and Brandon Heidel to meet him in this inning. Contreras struck out back in the first inning to end the first inning, stranding a runner in scoring position. First pitch up the middle off of Scott. It's going to be Parks who's going to have to bring it in, but it's not going to be in time as there was no play for Pavin to make there. A hard hit single off of Scott. Unfortunate, but now for the 3rd time in 4 innings, the Slammers with a leadoff runner. Next is Valdez, who was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat. Valdez in the right-handed batter's box takes the first pitch for a ball and starts ahead 1-0. Contreras 2 for 3 on the year in stolen base attempts. Again, only in 5 games for him, but we did see him steal a bag last night. The 1-0 to Valdez runs high, and now the count's at 2-0. Valdez, the 25-year-old out of Corpus Christi, Texas, takes that pitch. Runner on the move towards second. That one is Not in time, I believe, as that ball gets past Brown, and so there was no tag anyways. Pitch was a strike, so the count moves to 2-1, but a stolen base for Contreras. Puts a runner in scoring position, still with no one out in this inning. So Scott working through some traffic again. The 2-1 pitch into Valdez is taken for a strike. And now we're even up at 2-2. Valdez played his final collegiate season at UTSA with the Roadrunners. Hit to a 387 batting average, had 13 home runs, 7 triples as well. That pitch inside for strike 3, just caught the corner. His 6th German-American Bank strikeout of this game. And with a big out number 1, it will lead to the catcher, Brandon Heidel. A perfectly placed pitch for Braden Scott. Heidel, who did walk his first time up. The go-ahead run over at second base is Jose Contreras as the Otters and Slammers tied at 1 in the bottom of the 4th inning. First pitch just missed catching the back door. So Heidel starts ahead 1-0. Scott looking into Felix now. He's ready to come set. A pickoff attempt at second, and Contreras was going, and he's out at third. Scott gets Contreras running, and a big out number 2 for the Evansville Otters. What a play from Braden Scott. Fooled him as he initially looked like he was coming home, then went to second base. Contreras, who was going on first movement. Next pitch, that one's up to high into the air. Back behind the plate. Now it's coming a little bit forward. It's going to land in foul territory. As Felix just couldn't read it, and it just missed it. And now Heidel's going to get a second life as the count moves to 1-1. The wind pushed it back a little bit further than what Felix initially read it at, and wasn't able to recover in time. So the count simply at 1-1. But now with no one on and 2 away in this inning. Let's get the home plate umpire Cackett standing outside of his position. Now he'll step back to where he's supposed to be, and Heidel will step back into the batter's box. Scott looking in. Ready, now delivers. That one is lifted into right field. In on it is Benson. Doesn't have to move that much and brings it in for out number 3. So the leadoff runner reaches, but then gets picked off. And the Slammers go 1-2-3 in the 4th inning. We head to the 5th, still knotted up at 1. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network and on 96.9 WYIR.
Right now in Vanderburgh County, over 800 children are in the child welfare system waiting for someone to be their voice, and you could be that voice by becoming a court-appointed special advocate, a CASA volunteer. Donating just a few hours a month of your time can change a child's life forever. Vanderburgh County CASA invites you to join them. Stand up, speak out, be for the child, be a CASA. For more information, visit vandcasa.com. That's VAND CASA.com. Ballet Indiana is made up of local ballet professionals, dedicated parents, and community members in order to provide unique and life-enriching experiences for hundreds of young dancers, while carrying out their mission to inspire a lifelong appreciation for dance for both our dancers and the Evansville community. More information on Ballet Indiana and information about their upcoming performances is available at balletindiana.org.
Jordan Powell back in there for his 5th inning of work. And with Jordan Powell back out there, so are all-you-can-eat wings and fries at Buffalo Wild Wings. Monday through Thursdays, now including traditional wings. That's right, with all of your favorite sauces. Just $19.99 for boneless and $24.99 for traditional. Monday through Thursday. Dine-in only at either Evansville location, 5405 Pearl Drive and 715 North Greenville Road for a limited time. First one to meet Powell in this inning. It's going to be the catcher Justin Felix, who struck out his first time up. First pitch is taken for a strike, and Felix will work from behind 0-1. Powell trying to have his longest outing of the year. Count moves to 1-1. Furthest he's worked into a game so far this year is 4 2/3 innings. Next pitch just catches the top part of the zone. And now Felix will have to work from behind 1-2. Felix didn't like that call. The strike that's been given to the top part of the zone, even a little bit outside the zone. It has favored Powell, who has been fine with going high in the zone. Now with a 1-2 pitch to the Otters catcher. That one runs outside and it evens up at 2-2. Felix, the catcher, who's catching for Braden Scott, awaits the next pitch that runs way too outside, and now we have a full count. The Otters trying to get a leadoff runner. They've had a runner in each of the innings so far. Felix entering with a .324 batting average. He's drawn 12 walks this year. And he swings through that one for strike 3, the 3rd strikeout of the game for Powell, the 2nd of Felix. And with 1 away, it's going to be Ellis Schwartz to the plate. The triple to lead off the 3rd inning that allowed Graham Brown the sac fly to score him. Allowed the Otters to tie this game up at 1. Here in the 5th inning, Otters trying to break the deadlock. It's Ellis Schwartz up next to try that. He takes the first pitch for a strike. Starts behind 0-1. Schwartz making his 8th appearance of the year. In center field again. 0-1. Misses low. Count evens up at 1-1. Next pitch to Schwartz, lifted high in the air towards right. On his way back is Davis to the track, to the wall. That one is gone. Ellis Schwartz does it again. A home run for Evansville, and they take a 2-1 lead. Talk about making the most of your opportunity. Making his first start of the weekend, and now he's got a triple and a home run. And next is Graham Brown. So Powell's going to have to reset and try to put that behind him. Works to Graham Brown, who had the sac flies last time up. He swings through that one and barely makes contact to start behind 0-1. Next pitch to Brown is taken in the dirt. Evens it up at 1-1. Brown last night with multiple hard hit outs. Trying to find his way back in. Had a hard hit sac fly his last time up. And did what he needed to do to get that run across. Now the 1-1, that's way outside. And now the 2-1 count. So the Otters jumping ahead 2-1, their first lead of this ball game here in the top of the 5th inning. And with the way Braden Scott's been pitching, you hope that he'll keep this lead, as that one is chucked way in front of the plate. Count at 3-1 for Graham Brown. That was maybe about 5 feet in front of home plate. So Powell's going to have to work with a 3-1 count against the Otters leadoff hitter, Graham Brown. That one is ripped down the third baseline, but foul, and we'll do a payoff pitch here. Second full count of the inning for Powell. He struck out Felix swinging the last time he had one. The full count pitch, shot towards first. That one's going to hook back inside fair territory, and Smart's going to bring it in for out number 2. So Brown just threw his bat out there trying to stay alive, but the ball that started in foul territory when it left his bat just kept going towards fair territory, and Smart brought it in. So now with 2 away in the inning, it's David Mindom trying to keep his perfect day. He's 1 for 1 with a walk. He was cut down on the double play by JT Benson after his single in the 3rd inning. The first pitch inside for a ball. He starts ahead 1-0. So Schwartz with 2 of the 3 hits for the Otters. Mindom with the other one. Although the Otters have worked 4 walks, so it's not like they haven't gotten to Powell and gotten runners on, just doing it more in the sense of walking than they have hitting. Mindom a single, Schwartz with a triple and a home run. That pitch stays low, and now it's a 2-0 count to David Mindom. Obviously, Mindom known for drawing walks and getting on base, but has some pop in the bat. Had a home run early in the season, has had 5 last year. Takes that one for a strike. That one just caught the corner of the zone. Count moves to 2-1. The 2-1, that's a chopper towards second base. Valdez over on it. He's going to toss it to second for the throw, but it's not going to be in time. So Valdez, who was running to his right, knew he wasn't going to have a play, so he tossed it to his shortstop, Marine, but just not in time. So the second hit of the day for David Mindom extends this inning to JT Benson. I will say, if he made that play, it would have been spectacular, but fortunately for the Otters, Mindom beat it out. Now we have the walk to the mound. You wonder if he's going to take out Powell once again in the 4 2/3 inning spot. Looks like they're just talking right now. There is some action going on in the bullpen. 2 pitchers currently up on the mound in the bullpen. It does look like they are going to stick with him, barring anything changing. Powell at 92 pitches, however, so he is reaching that century mark, and they will stick with him with JT Benson coming up. 0 for 2 with a strikeout and grounded into a double play. Benson will be ready with a runner at first, trying to extend this 2-out rally. So now Powell from the stretch is ready. The first pitch, that one goes way outside. A jumping stop by the catcher Heidel to keep it in front of him, and Benson will be ahead 1-0. Next pitch, that one runs outside. Now it's a 2-0 count, as Powell can't find the zone right now against Benson. Most pitches Powell has pitched this year is exactly 100. Pumps that one in there for a strike. Back in the count, now at 2-1. Benson awaits the 2-1 pitch. Mindom over at first base as that one catches the zone. And now Benson is a 2-2 count on him. Powell sets and delivers. Benson fouls that one off as he stays alive. Mindom does have a couple of stolen bases on the year, but probably not going to send him barring this count going full, of course. That 2-2, he fouls that one up overhead into the crowd right to my right. No one able to make the play in the crowd, but it's an overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it. We'll do 2-2 again. The next pitch from Jordan Powell. That one's lifted high, pop up. That one is coming back right towards me this time. It's going to go out of play again. That one actually was trying to get into the open window I have in here. The broadcasters to my left have a net. I should have brought a net trying to bring that one in. Still count at 2-2. That one's a chopper towards second. Valdez is going to have to charge it. He'll make the toss to first just in time as a bang-bang play. Gets Benson on the ground out, but the Otters, with a solo shot from Ellis Schwartz, puts them ahead 2-1. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network and on 96.9 WYIR.
Maintaining our independence becomes more and more vital as we age. Swerka and more can help you navigate this important journey by answering your questions and connecting you to free and unbiased community resources and support services. If you are seeking advice for yourself or a loved one, let Swerka be your first call. More information available at swerka.org or by calling 812-464-7800. Originally opening in 2004, Jacobs Village has been a home for adults with disabilities, giving these great residents a wonderful opportunity to live life just like you and me. Jacobs Village mission is to continue building a safe, walkable neighborhood community where people with disabilities and older adults can find meaningful relationships, affordable and accessible housing, and activities to keep their bodies and minds engaged. We can't wait to have Jacobs Village at the ballpark on July 3rd for our annual Red, White, and Blue Night. More information on this great community partner is available at jacobsvillage.org.
Braden Scott is back out there on the mound, and you know what else is back? All-you-can-eat wings and fries at Buffalo Wild Wings, Mondays through Thursdays, now including traditional wings. That's right, with all your favorite sauces, just $19.99 for boneless and $24.99 for traditional. Monday through Thursday, dine-in only at either Evansville location, 5405 Pearl Drive and 715 North Greenwood Road for a limited time only. So Braden Scott out there with his first lead of the game. Otters leading 2-1 after the Ellis Schwartz solo shot put them ahead. Braden Scott gave up a run in that first inning, but since then has been dialed in. He has 6 strikeouts on the night, or on the day game, I should say, and looks to continue that strength. He's gone 1, 2, 3 in back-to-back innings, and it will be Jamie Smart, Chris Davis, and Liam MacArthur to meet him as these three struck out back-to-back-to-back back in the second inning. Smart stepping into the left-handed batter's box. Had a single last night, was also hit by a pitch, grounded out a couple of times. First pitch taken for a strike, and he starts behind 0-1. Now Scott looks in, is ready, and delivers. That one just misses outside. It evens it up at 1-1. Next pitch finds a zone. Count at 1-2 now. Scott has settled in, and he has been tough to hit. And that one is lifted high into foul territory. That one's going to get out of play and overhead. An overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it. Scott's going to get a new ball. Count still at 1-2 for the Slammers' first baseman. now trying to help the Slammers get back into this game. He checked his swing. That one stayed high. Count moves to 2-2. Now Scott in the windup delivers. Swing and a miss for strike 3. Got the slider on the outside part of the plate. Another German-American makes strikeout, his 7th of the ball game. And with one away, it's Chris Davis, who was also a victim of the strikeout. Davis in the left-handed batter's box. Watch the first pitch for a ball. Starts ahead 1-0. Davis was a tough out. He did a ton of work fouling off pitches, but eventually went down swinging. Next pitch, chopped foul off of himself. Evens it up at 1-1. The Otters up 2-1 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. They won game 1, 13-10, lost last night 4-11, looking to take the rubber match and win the road series. The next pitch runs high, and now we have a 2-1 count. The next pitch to Davis is taken just low. And now we have a 3-1 count. Scott asked for a new ball, and now he is back onto the mound. Winds up and delivers. High pop up into foul territory. Parks and Felix trying to converge over it. It's going to the dugout. It's going to end up in the Otters dugout. No one able to make the grab, and now we have a full count. Felix will get a new ball, and he'll toss it to Scott. Davis still looking for his first hit of the series. Went 0 for 3 rather in his first start of the series, and then in his pinch hit last night he wasn't able to. But that one is a bloop shot into right center field, and it is going to get down for a 1-out base knock, just as I was talking. And with 1 away and a runner on, it's going to be Liam MacArthur. MacArthur singled on a soft single up the middle and then struck out swinging in his second at-bat. And now is here in the 5th inning as he is the go-ahead run. The tying run over at first is Chris Davis. First pitch is just missed low and away, and Scott will start behind MacArthur 1-0. MacArthur, the Slammers veteran, having his best season as a Slammer so far. The 1-0 pitch, runner takes off, but that one is fouled up and out of play. Count moves to 1-1. Chris Davis is 3 for 5 in stolen base attempts this year. Last year with Joliet was 7 for 8. See if he wants to take off again with the 1-1 count. Scott sets, delivers. That one is a high pop-up towards left. Parks will camp under it. He'll bring it in foul territory for out number 2. And so with 2 away and that runner still at first, it is the third baseman, Ian Batty Paglia. Batty Paglia was retired for the first time in 6 at-bats with his flyout to right field. He has been the thorn in the Otters pitchers' sides to start this weekend. Scott stares down the runner at first, now delivers. That one is on the ground past the shortstop and third baseman. And a 2-out base knock puts a runner into scoring position for Braylon Marine, who is 0 for 1 with a sac fly. That was a curveball that stayed in the bottom part of the zone. Batty Paglia went to get it. Didn't hit it particularly hard, just found the hole. Now it's Marine, who's been held fairly quiet so far in this series. The first pitch swung through that breaker, and now he's behind 0-1. Another beautiful back foot breaker. Looks like that's what Scott tried to do with the first pitch to Batty Paglia, but left it a little bit too high. And now with an 0-1 count, runners at first and second, 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Pulled the string again, got him swinging, did foul it off, but strike number 2 either way. So now back-to-back back foot breakers to Braylon Marine. We'll see what he wants to do with this pitch. Does he go back with it with a third time in a row, or did he try to amp one up, maybe top of the zone? Scott is set from the stretch. The 0-2 pitch. Blew it by him at 90 miles per hour and got him swinging. His 8th German-American bank strikeout of the game. He is locked in right now. We head to the 6th inning. Otters lead 2-1. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network and on 96.9 WYIR.
Right now in Vanderburgh County, over 800 children are in the child welfare system waiting for someone to be their voice, and you could be that voice by becoming a court-appointed special advocate, a CASA volunteer. Donating just a few hours a month of your time can change a child's life forever. Vanderburgh County CASA invites you to join them. Stand up, speak out, be for the child, be a CASA. For more information, visit vandcasa.com. That's VAND-CASA.com. Ballet Indiana is made up of local ballet professionals, dedicated parents, and community members in order to provide unique and life-enriching experiences for hundreds of young dancers, while carrying out their mission to inspire a lifelong appreciation for dance for both our dancers and the Evansville community. More information on Ballet Indiana and information about their upcoming performances is available at balletindiana.org. Maintaining our independence becomes more and more vital as we age. Swerka and More can help you navigate this important journey by answering your questions and connecting you to free and unbiased community resources and support services. If you are seeking advice for yourself or a loved one, let Swerka be your first call. More information available at swerka.org or by calling 812-464-7800. Originally opening in 2004, Jacobs Village has been a home for adults with disabilities, giving these great residents a wonderful opportunity to live life just like you and me. Jacobs Village mission is to continue building a safe, walkable neighborhood community where people with disabilities and older adults can find meaningful relationships, affordable and accessible housing, and activities to keep their bodies and minds engaged. We can't wait to have Jacobs Village at the ballpark on July 3rd for our annual Red, White, and Blue Night. More information on this great community partner is available at jacobsvillage.org.
New pitcher on the mound for Joliet is Michael Grogan. Grogan on the mound. Heidel behind the plate. That pitcher and catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or call 812-475-9000. First one to meet him is going to be L.J. Jones. Grogan in his first professional season. Finished up his second year at Wright State just earlier this year. In 41 1/3 innings, had an 8.49 ERA. The first pitch to Jones is taken outside for a ball, and he starts behind 1-0. LJ with a 107 line out in his last at-bat. Next pitch from Grogan. Finds the zone and evens it up at 1-1. Grogan this year in 3 appearances has gone 4 innings, given up 3 hits. He's walked 1, struck out 6, hasn't given up a run yet. The 23-year-old out of Cincinnati, Ohio, throws that pitch in there for a strike, and now he's ahead of Jones 1-2. Grogan set from the stretch. The 1-2 pitch pulled the string, got Jones swinging, but he did make contact, so he stays alive with the foul ball. So a great job to make contact with that ball. Now he'll step outside and call time and try to reset himself. Jones in this game grounded out to third base in his first at-bat, but then lined out to left field with a 107 off the bat rocket. Just bad, unfortunate placement, really. Now he's got a 1-2 count here as he tries to battle against the pitcher, Michael Grogan. 1-2 pitch. Pulled the string. That time he got him swinging for his first strikeout of the outing. And with one away, it'll be Paven Parks. With the day ending for Jordan Powell, he went his longest he's gone. He went 5 innings, gave up 4 hits, walked 4, struck out 3, gave up 2 runs. Both of those runs were Ellis Schwartz, the leadoff triple back in the 3rd inning. Came around to score on the sac fly from Graham Brown. And then the solo shot from Ellis Schwartz. Now Grogan, the first pitch to Parks is taken outside for a ball. Parks starts ahead 1-0. Paven has drawn 2 walks today. He's also stolen a couple of bags. Next pitch inside. Now he's at 2-0. This is what we've been. This is what we've been talking about all these last 2 weeks. Is that these are the at bats that Paven started taking, and he's been hitting the ball hard. But more importantly, he's been just having such great at bats. 2-0, just catches the corner of the zone. That went up at 92 miles per hour as the count moves to 2-1. Here in the top of the 6th inning, Otters leading 2-1. The solo shot from Ellis Schwartz, the difference. That one runs high, called a strike. Count at 2-2. Now Paven will take his time and reset himself. That top part of the zone has been given from the home plate umpire, Jacob Cackett. Now the count's at 2-2 for Parks, playing third base today. Grogan now set and delivers. Swung on a miss for strike 3, back-to-back strikeouts for Grogan to start this outing. And with 2 away, it'll be Keenan Taylor to try to extend this inning. Went 92 down in the zone. Grogan made 18 appearances for Wright State this year. 6 of those were starts. So we'll see how long Joliet wants to go with him. The first pitch to Taylor is lifted high and out of play, and that overhead foul ball is brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it. Keenan walked his first at-bat and was caught stealing. And then he flew out to right field in his second at-bat. The next pitch runs low, and the count evens up at 1-1. Grogan's been all around the plate. His misses have just missed. He's got a 1-1 count to the Otters DH as that one is fouled out of play. Count at 1-2 now. Taylor takes time, and now he resets himself and steps back into the right-handed batter's box. That 91, 92 mile per hour fastball with some nasty inside movement from Grogan. 1-2 pitch. Pulled the string, got him swinging. He strikes out the side, does Michael Grogan. So the Otters go down in order. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Otters still lead 2-1. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network and on 96.9 WYIR.
Right now in Vanderburgh County, over 800 children are in the child welfare system waiting for someone to be their voice, and you could be that voice by becoming a court-appointed special advocate, a CASA volunteer. Donating just a few hours a month of your time can change a child's life forever. Vanderburgh County CASA invites you to join them. Stand up, speak out, be for the child, be a CASA. For more information, visit vandcasa.com. That's VAND-CASA.com. Ballet Indiana is made up of local ballet professionals, dedicated parents, and community members in order to provide unique and life-enriching experiences for hundreds of young dancers, while carrying out their mission to inspire a lifelong appreciation for dance for both our dancers and the Evansville community. More information on Ballet Indiana and information about their upcoming performances is available at balletindiana.org.
So Braden Scott, through 5, has 8 strikeouts. He gave up that 1 run back in the first, and since then he has been dynamic, trying to keep this slim 1-run lead the Otters have through 5.5 innings. It'll be Blake Berry, Jose Contreras, and Antonio Valdez to meet him in this 6th inning. Berry steps in 0 for 2, trying to get a leadoff runner for Joliet. First pitch from Scott is a blooper over the head of Cruz. He leaps, he brings it in. J.J. Cruz, a nice leaping grab for out number 1. A quick out number 1 will lead to the left fielder Jose Contreras. Contreras awaits the first pitch. Scott works quickly, pulled the string out in front. He's ahead 1-0, 0-1. Contreras struck out his first at-bat, then singled his last time up. The 0-1 fouled that one off, and now he's behind 0-2 and has to battle. Scott continues to work quickly and to come right at these hitters. From the windup, the 0-2 runs way inside. Contreras had to jump to get out of the way. He does, so the count moves to 1-2. One, two. He fouls that one off, and Contreras stays alive. Scott trying to work at least 6 innings pitched in his 5th straight start. He's gone 6 innings in his last 4. That one runs outside, evens it up at 2-2. He's gone 7 in his last 2 starts. The 2-2. Chopper towards short. Cruz will bring it in on a backhand. Long throw to first. Bindum can't dig it out. And Contreras is going to reach with 1 away. With 1 away, it's going to be Valdez who steps to the plate, working on his 0 for 1 day, I should say. He was hit by a pitch in his first at-bat. Then struck out looking. Now with a runner at first and 1 away, Contreras, who already has a stolen base in this game, doesn't go. First pitch swinging for Valdez. He's behind 0-1. The 0-1 is taken in there for a strike, and now he's ahead 0-2 of Valdez. At the 92nd pitch of the game so far for Braden Scott. Again, not afraid to go above 100, honestly, well above 100. Counts at 0-2. Scott ready and delivers. Runner just take off. That one is fouled off as Valdez stays alive. Contreras will have to go back to first. Contreras stole second his last time up, or last time he was on base, I should say, but then was picked off trying to steal third base. So we will see if Scott maybe wants to throw over there real quick with an 0-2 count. That one lifted high in the air towards left. Jones steps back a couple of feet and will bring it in for out number 2. Contreras will stay put at first base. So with 2 away, it's the catcher, Brandon Heidel. They did list that an error by the shortstop, J.J. Cruz, however, I don't know, however to it. First pitch fouled off. Heidel starts behind 0-1. Counter 0-1 to the catcher. Works quickly. That one runs outside, evens it up at 1-1. Heidel 0 for 1 on the day. Flew up to center field his last time up. Also has drawn a walk, the only walk that Braden Scott has allowed in this game so far. Count at 1-1. Runner at first is Contreras. And a pick over. He got him again. Throw it on to second. A high throw. Cruz brings it in. Now he's going to chase him down. He's going to toss it to Mendham. Mendham's going to run him down. He's going to toss it to Brown. He's going to apply the tag on him and the inning's over. Second time he's gotten Contreras leaning, and a pickoff is going to end this inning. So Scott doesn't let the error affect him, sends them down in order, and we'll head to the 7th inning. Otters leading 2-1. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network and on 96.9 WIIR.
Maintaining our independence becomes more and more vital as we age. Swerka and more can help you navigate this important journey by answering your questions and connecting you to free and unbiased community resources and support services. If you are seeking advice for yourself or a loved one, let Swerka be your first call. More information available at swerka.org or by calling 812-464-7800. Originally opening in 2004, Jacobs Village has been a home for adults with disabilities, giving these great residents a wonderful opportunity to live life just like you and me. Jacobs Village mission is to continue building a safe, walkable neighborhood community where people with disabilities and older adults can find meaningful relationships, affordable and accessible housing, and activities to keep their bodies and minds engaged. We can't wait to have Jacobs Village at the ballpark on July 3rd for our annual Red, White, and Blue Night. More information on this great community partner is available at jacobsvillage.org.
Final 3 frames left in this game. Otters leading 2-1. Michael Grogan out there for another inning of work. He looked very good in that first inning, and now the Otters, who went down 1-2-3 all with strikeouts, will try to figure him out with the 7-8-9 hole with J.J. Cruz, Justin Felix, and Ellis Schwartz due up. Cruz will enter in 0 for 2 on the day with a pop-out and a fly-out. Looks like manager Pinto is making a defensive change. I believe it's Goldstein for Contreras out in left field, but I will make sure of that whenever the time comes. First pitch taken high for a ball, and Cruz starts ahead 1-0. Next pitch, misses again, and now he's at 2-0. So Grogan, who did really well at maneuvering the zone last inning, starts his first batter here in the second inning with a 2-0 count. That one is ripped hard into right field. That is going back to the track. Another solo shot for the Otters. J.J. Cruz extends the 2-run lead to 3. He makes it 3-1 with a 443-foot bomb. He doubles the Otters' lead. So now it's Justin Felix trying to follow that up. Grogan set and delivers the first pitch. Misses inside, and now the count moves to 1-0. And Cruz, when he jumps over a pitch, he can make some loud contact, and he does it right there. Next pitch just catches the top part of the zone. Evens it up at 1-1. Next pitch from Grogan. Goes too far outside. Now Justin Fields at 2-1. Grogan from his stretch, as always, the 2-1 is taken for a strike. It evens it up at 2-2. That one just nicked the outside part of the plate at 91 miles per hour. Grogan, a former teammate of Garrett Simpson, who we saw pitch yesterday. The 2-2 pitch. Checked his swing. Doesn't matter. It's in there for strike 3. Felix goes down looking on a pitch that just caught the bottom part of the plate. His third strikeout of the game. And with one away, it's Ellis Schwartz that, up until that J.J. Cruz home run, had been the big hitter in this game. Obviously still is with a triple and a home run. He'll step into the left-handed batter's box, trying to improve on his impressive 2-for-2 day. First pitch, that one's lined hard into center field, but just off the top of the barrel, as MacArthur is going to bring it in for out number 2. So now with 2 away, it's Graham Brown trying to extend the 7th inning for the Otters. No warming up doing in the Otters bullpen, so looks like Braden Scott's going to be out there for a 7th inning. And now it's Graham Brown. Is 0 for 2 on the day, but again, some hard hit ball back in the 3rd inning that allowed Schwartz to score as he takes the first pitch for a strike. Grogan looks in to his catcher Heidel. Now he's set, belt high. The 0-1 pitch way outside. Graham Brown holds off. Count evens up at 1-1. Brown entering with 302 batting average, still a 537 slugging percentage on the year. Next one outside. Now the count moves to 2-1. The RBI earlier, his 28th RBI on the year. That was Cruz's 2nd home run of the year that he hit. This was Ellis Schwartz's first home run. That one in there for a strike. Now the count evens up at 2-2. That Ellis Schwartz home run, by the way, was his first professional home run after he played his final year at George Washington University this year. Count at 2-2 for Brown. He awaits the next pitch. Checked his swing. Did he go? He did not, says the first base umpire, Matt Beaver. And now we have a full count.
All right, let's make some noise.
Top of the 7th inning, Otters now lead 3-1 off the back of the J.J. Cruz solo shot. Chops that one foul, and we'll do it again. Brown back at the top of the lineup today. Obviously, Dennis Pierce out of the lineup. He fouls that one off, and we have a great battle going on here between Brown and Grogan. He is not giving in. That one was a fastball at 89 miles per hour. Took a little bit off of it, but went up and in, and Brown did well to get to it. That one lifted high in the air towards left. Back on it is Goldstein to the track, to the wall. It carries, but he brings it in at the wall. So mark it up as another loud flyout for Graham Brown, and that ends the inning. But J.J. Cruz, the solo shot, makes the Otters lead 3-1. And we are heading to the bottom of the 7th inning with the Otters with a 2-run lead as you're listening to the Otters Digital Network and our 96.9 WYIR.
Right now in Vanderburgh County, over 800 children are in the child welfare system waiting for someone to be their voice, and you could be that voice by becoming a court-appointed special advocate, a CASA volunteer. Donating just a few hours a month of your time can change a child's life forever. Vanderburgh County CASA invites you to join them. Stand up, speak out, be for the child, be a CASA. For more information, visit vandcasa.com. That's VAND-CASA.com. Ballet Indiana is made up of local ballet professionals, dedicated parents, and community members in order to provide unique and life-enriching experiences for hundreds of young dancers, while carrying out their mission to inspire a lifelong appreciation for dance for both our dancers and the Evansville community. More information on Ballet Indiana and information about their upcoming performances is available at balletindiana.org. Maintaining our independence becomes more and more vital as we age. Swerka and More can help you navigate this important journey by answering your questions and connecting you to free and unbiased community resources and support services. If you are seeking advice for yourself or a loved one, let Swerka be your first call. More information available at swerka.org or by calling 812-464-7800.
Braden Scott indeed out there for his 7th inning of work, trying to go through 7 for his 3rd straight time. It will be the 7, 8, 9 hitters, Brandon Heidel, Jamie Smart, and Chris Davis to meet him here in this inning. I can confirm the substitution. Actually, it was Contreras who moved to first base. Goldstein out to left. So Contreras stays in. Jamie Smart is out. So actually, Goldstein is awaiting on deck. First pitch to Heidel is taken for a ball. He starts ahead 1-0. Heidel was on first base, or Heidel was at the plate, I should say, when Contreras got thrown out, picked off at first. The 1-0 pitch from Scott finds the zone, or it evens up at 1-1. With the 1-1 count, Scott from the windup, high pop-up towards right field. Bindum over, Brown over, and Benson over, but that one's going to land into the bullpen, as now Heidel's going to fight from behind 1-2. Can't say enough about the Braden Scott start. Started off rocky, gave up that run in the first inning. In fact, had runners on second and third, hadn't recorded an out yet. Then the sac fly, a fly out to right field of Blake Berry, and the strikeout of Contreras. And since then, even if there were runners in scoring position, he has locked it down. That pitch to Heidel just stays high, and now the count evens up at 2-2. There is now some action getting started in the Otters bullpen. 2-2 in the dirt. Now the count runs full. Scott now with 102 pitches in the game. He went 113 in his last outing against Washington. That pitch runs high. Now we have a walk, his second of the game. Heidel's second of the game, in fact. And a leadoff runner for Joliet. And now it's Dylan Goldstein who's making his first at-bat. So Goldstein in the left-handed batter's box, awaiting the first pitch from the Otters southpaw. First pitch runs low, and he starts behind another batter 1-0. The tying run is Goldstein at the plate currently. Heidel has not attempted a stolen base all year. That pitch bends too far outside again, and now it's a 2-0 count. So after getting Heidel at 1-2, 3 straight balls to him lead to a walk, and now the first 2 pitches to Goldstein are off the plate. The 2-0. That one just misses. Now it's a 3-0 count to the Slammers' newly entered left fielder. Scott, behind 3-0 to Goldstein, is set and delivers. That one misses as well. Same spot. And a 4-pitch walk. Now have runners on first and second with no one out. And now Max Peterson hops out of the dugout. As the Otters holding on to a 2-run lead here in the bottom of the 7th inning, but back-to-back walks have the tying run on base and the go-ahead run at the plate in Chris Davis. Davis singled for the first time this series in his last at-bat. Wasn't a hard-hit single, just found the hole in the outfield. They're going to stick with Scott. He's going to try to work through it. He's worked through some traffic before, as I mentioned in the first inning. Had runners in second and third, only allowed 1 run. Had runners at first and second with no one out back in the second inning, then struck out the next 3 batters. One of those batters was Chris Davis. Had a runner on second with no one out, then picked him off when there was 1 out. And last inning had a couple of runners on with 2 outs and got out of that inning. Now it's Chris Davis, singled his last time up. Scott sets. Davis is square around to bunt. The sac bunt's going to work perfectly. Back to Scott, throw to first in time for out number 1. So the Otters get an out, but the runners do advance. Tying run at second base now with only 1 away. Now it's the center fielder, left-handed hitting Liam MacArthur. Singled his first time up, but then struck out and popped out to short. But looks like Max Peterson is going to go get his pitcher and bring in a new reliever. So Scott hands the ball off after his fantastic outing. When we come back, we'll have more on the new pitcher. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network and on 96.9 WYIR.
Originally opening in 2004, Jacobs Village has been a home for adults with disabilities, giving these great residents a wonderful opportunity to live life just like you and me. Jacobs Village mission is to continue building a safe, walkable neighborhood community where people with disabilities and older adults can find meaningful relationships, affordable and accessible housing, and activities to keep their bodies and minds engaged. We can't wait to have Jacobs Village at the ballpark on July 3rd for our annual Red, White, and Blue Night. More information on this great community partner is available at jacobsvillage.org. Right now in Vanderburgh County, over 800 children are in the child welfare system waiting for someone to be their voice, and you could be that voice by becoming a court-appointed special advocate, a CASA volunteer. Donating just a few hours a month of your time can change a child's life forever. Vanderburgh County CASA invites you to join them. Stand up, speak out, be for the child, be a CASA. For more information, visit vandcasa.com. That's VANDCASA.com.
Next pitcher to answer the bell for the Otters is Nick McAuliffe. McAuliffe on the mound, Felix behind the plate. That pitcher and catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or call 812-475-9000. So Nick McAuliffe enters with runners on second and third and only 1 away. He's made 11 appearances on the year. He's pitched in 13 innings, 20 strikeouts to 6 walks, and a couple of saves. The last outing against Washington, he only went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 5 runs on 3 hits and 2 walks. But those were the first runs he'd given up all year. Before that, he had been perfect. He'd been a guy who struck out a lot of batters, kept the walks down. And now he's got to get a big out here, and Liam MacArthur back to the top of the lineup. Only one away. Runners on second and third. The runner at second is the tying run. Liam MacArthur represents the go-ahead run. And now McAuliffe. Looks in. Now he's set. First pitch to MacArthur. Taken low for a ball. Starts behind him 1-0. Big moment in this game. Bottom of the seventh. Otters leading by 2, but a couple of runners on now. The 1-0 pitch to MacArthur. That one just misses high. 2-0. It's a pitch that you would like to have after he's been called a strike all game. So now a 2-0 count to Liam MacArthur. On deck is Ian Batty Paglia. The 2-0. That one runs too high, and now the count is at 3-0. There is a base open. A walk sets up the double play, sets up the force at home. But it also puts the go-ahead run on base. Couple of walks are what allowed the runners to reach base. A sac bunt moved them over to second and third. Now the 3-0 count to MacArthur. That one finds the zone. Back in the count is McAuliffe. It's a 3-1 count. Infield is playing at normal depth. They are not playing in. They are allowing that run from third to score. The run from second is the one that is important to them. So McAuliffe is set once again. The 3-1 pitch. That one's hit hard into center field. In on it is Schwartz. He's going to bring it in for out number 2. They're going to test him. He's going to throw it home, and no, he's not going to go home. The runner at third, Heidel, is not going to tag home, and a second out is going to keep that runner at third, and now a base hit has to score on. 3-1 pitch. MacArthur went for it at 92 miles per hour. Hit it pretty hard, but right to Schwartz. And now 2 away, it's Ian Batty Paglia. And with how this guy has been performing, we'll see if maybe they want to walk him or how careful they'll be with pitching around him as Felix goes out and talks to McAuliffe. The Otters, not a team to really walk a lot of people, intentionally at least. Looks like they will go after him, at least initially. The first pitch from McAuliffe. That one's low. Batty Paglia starts ahead 1-0. Batty Paglia, 2 for 3 on the day, flew out to right field. Singled off Scott his last time up. 1-0, swung through that one. Now it evens it up at 1-1. 93 for McAuliffe on that one. Tying run at second. That one is Goldstein. Batty Paglia, the go-ahead run. The 1-1 pitch. Watches that one for a strike, and now McAuliffe has a 1-2 count on him. McAuliffe called in with 1 away and runners on second and third. Got the fly out. That was too short to advance Heidel. And now he's got Batty Paglia down to a 1-2 count. McAuliffe is set and delivers. That one stays high. So make it a 2-2 count. Reared back on that one, threw it at 94. But just released it a little bit too high, and it's got a 2-2 count. Still got a base open. Marine over on deck, who doesn't have a hit in this game. The 2-2. Chop towards second. Cruz brings it in, throw to first. Bang, bang play. Not in time, says the first base umpire. Mindham thought it was an out for sure. The slow chopper to short allowed Batty Paglia to beat it out, or at least that's what the first base umpire said, and here comes McCauley to go talk about it. What an unfortunate way for a run to score. Mendham thought for sure he was almost ready to walk off the field. He didn't even look at the first base umpire. He knew it was an out for, or at least in his mind, he knew it was out number 3. But instead, the inning extends to Braylon Marine. So now McAuliffe's got to get a 4th out. Marine 0 for 2, had a sac fly. 1 for 5 last night. Still has a .360 batting average, though. Not an easy out by any means. First pitch swinging, pulled the string on him, and he's ahead 0-1. Questionable call, extends the inning. Now Marine down 0-1. Slammers still trailing by 1. McAuliffe stands, now delivers. Runner takes off for second, but that one's fouled off, and now we have an 0-2 count. With the speed of Batty Paglia, see if Felix even wants to throw down with that runner at third, the tying run. But the count's at 0-2 right now. Couple off-speed pitches so far for Marine. Quick look at first, now McAuliffe is set. He delivers. That one goes low. He checked his swing, did Marine, and now the count moves to 1-2. That one stayed too low. Batty Paglia at first, Goldstein at third. Batty Paglia the go-ahead run, Goldstein the tying run. Batty Paglia takes off. That pitch just missed outside, and it's a 2-2 count in the stolen base with no throw for Batty Paglia. So now the go-ahead run in scoring position with a 2-2 count to Marine. McAuliffe's looking in. He's going to step off as the clock got down to 2 seconds. That's the first step off. And now Felix is going to go out and talk with him, as this is obviously a big out here. On deck, Blake Berry, who is 0 for 3, but he has been on fire this series with 4 doubles, which are all of his 4 hits this series. Otters now lead 3-2 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Slammers threatening with the tying run at third, go-ahead run on second. Marine at the plate after the questionable bang-bang call at first extended the inning. 2-2 in the dirt. Now it's full. No one warming up in the Otters bullpen. McAuliffe is looking in. Now he sets. The payoff pitch, swing and a miss for strike 3. The German-American bank strikeout ends the inning, strands the tying run and the go-ahead run. And we'll head to the 8th inning. Otters still leading by 1. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network and on 96.9 WYIR.
Ballet Indiana is made up of local ballet professionals, dedicated parents, and community members in order to provide unique and life-enriching experiences for hundreds of young dancers, while carrying out their mission to inspire a lifelong appreciation for dance for both our dancers and the Evansville community. More information on Ballet Indiana and information about their upcoming performances is available at balletindiana.org. Maintaining our independence becomes more and more vital as we age. Swerka and More can help you navigate this important journey by answering your questions and connecting you to free and unbiased community resources and support services. If you are seeking advice for yourself or a loved one, let Swerka be your first call. More information available at swerka.org or by calling 812-464-7800.
New pitcher in for Joliet is Cameron Smith. Behind the plate is still Brandon Heidel. That pitcher and catcher battery is sponsored by The Answer Auto Repair East. Find your battery needs at The Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or call at 812-475-9000. The Otters saw Cameron Smith in last night's game. So this will be a second outing in as many days for Smith as he tries to maintain this deficit where it's at. He went 1 inning, gave up a hit, didn't give up a run. Heidel finishes the warm-up, and now it'll be Mendham, Benson, and L.J. Jones to meet him. A good part of the lineup if you were the Otters. Cameron Smith on the year. He's making his 17th appearance. He's pitched to a 3.86 ERA. 11 strikeouts to just 3 walks. The first pitch to Mendham is lifted high in the air towards left. Back on it is Goldstein to the near the track, couple of feet in front of the track, but does bring it in for out number 1. So with 1 away, it's up to JT Benson, who currently stands at 0 for 3 on the day. A couple of groundouts, one of those being a double play, both of those to second base, and then a strikeout back in the first inning. You talk about questionable calls on his strikeout. But 1 away here in the 8th inning. He squares on a bunt, pulls it back. It's called for a ball. He starts ahead 1-0. Benson's got plenty of speed to bunt for a hit. First and third baseman still playing back. Third baseman Batty Paglia still back behind third base. So is the first baseman Contreras. Now Batty Paglia comes in. He squares on a bunt, pulls it back again. Another pitch for a ball. It's a 2-0 count. So Batty Paglia is willing to inch in as Smith is ready. 2-0, high pop up into foul territory. Over is Batty Paglia to the dugout, but can't reach far enough, and it's just going to be a strike. 2-1 count. Smith in his second season with Joliet last year had a 2.72 ERA. The 2-1 pulled the string. JT swung through it, and now it's a 2-2 pitch. So Smith is set once again. The 2-2. That one is fouled off by Benson as he barely stays alive. Through the bender there again. That was below the zone. Benson went down and got it just to stay alive. And now he'll take his time as he tries to reset himself here. The all-turf field here in Dooley Health and Care Field is played to a 3-2 game here in the top of the 8th inning. Benson awaits the 2-2 pitch. Chops that one foul and will do it again. Great battle here from Benson. Trying to get a one-out hit here to hopefully get some insurance runs here for the Otters. No one warming up. McCall, assumedly he's going to go. That one is popped up to the right side, but that one is going to get out of play, and we'll do it again. Benson with a great battle. Benson with his .412 OVP, .550 slugging. The 2-2, that one's hit hard into right center field. Back on is MacArthur to the track, and he's going to bring it in a couple of feet in front of the wall for a loud out number 2. A couple of really the last 3 batters, Brown, Mendham, and Benson, have all hit it deep to the track, or near the track, but have come up with nothing. And now 2 away, it's L.J. Jones. The home run last night for L.J. Jones, his 3rd on the year, his 2nd in this week. The first pitch he takes for a strike, and he starts behind 0-1. Smith just pounded that in the zone. And now with a 0-1 count on Jones, he's set and delivers. Bender that went too far outside, now it evens up at 1-1. A closed stance for Smith when he comes set. Very closed, and now delivers. Pulled the string, called strike 2. So now it's a 1-2 count on a pitch that just caught the bottom of the zone. Jones takes his time. Now he steps back into the box. 0 for 3 on the day for him as well, but that line out in the fourth frankly should have been a hit with how hard he hit it. Next one goes too low, evens it up at 2-2. 2 away here in the top of the 8th inning. Otters leading 3-2 here in Joliet. 2-2 pitch goes inside and hits him, and now the Otters will extend the inning with an HBP. So it'll be Paven Parks who steps into the left-handed batter's box after that 2-strike hit by pitch on LJ Brown. Jones now at first. Smith was first runner on. There's a slight shift on Paven, the second baseman out in the outfield, basically. First pitch, check to swing. It's in there for a strike anyway, and he'll start behind 0-1. The Schwartz triple and the sac fly from Graham Brown, the Schwartz solo shot, and then the J.J. Cruz solo shot, the 3 runs for Evansville. Check over at first on Jones. He gets back with plenty of time. Count still at 0-1 for Paven Parks. 2 home runs back in game 1 of the series. Good enough for 5 RBIs. His second time this year he's had 5 RBIs in a game. Awaits the 0-1 pitch. That one is fouled up overhead. An overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best. Never regret it. And now the count's at 0-2. Park's going to have to battle. The left-handed batter's box is home. Sits, waits. Smith now set and delivers. That's a blooper into left field, but it's going to hang just a little bit too much. And it's going to be brought in by the left fielder Goldstein for out number 3. The Otters get a runner on, but make a lot of loud contact, all for naught. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Otters still lead by 1. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network in our 96.9 WYIR.
Maintaining our independence becomes more and more vital as we age. Swerka and more can help you navigate this important journey by answering your questions and connecting you to free and unbiased community resources and support services. If you are seeking advice for yourself or a loved one, let Swerka be your first call. More information available at swerka.org or by calling 812-464-7800. Originally opening in 2004, Jacobs Village has been a home for adults with disabilities, giving these great residents a wonderful opportunity to live life just like you and me. Jacobs Village mission is to continue building a safe, walkable neighborhood community where people with disabilities and older adults can find meaningful relationships, affordable and accessible housing, and activities to keep their bodies and minds engaged. We can't wait to have Jacobs Village at the ballpark on July 3rd for our annual Red, White, and Blue Night. More information on this great community partner is available at jacobsvillage.org.
Nick McAuliffe out there in this 8th inning. He'll go out there with a slim 1-run lead. It'll be Blake Berry, Jose Contreras, and Antonio Valdez to meet him in this inning. Blake Berry 0 for 3 on the day, but mentioned his 4 hits this week, all for doubles. He'll try to lead it off for the Slammers while McAuliffe tries to work a clean 8th. Barry into the left-handed batter's box, the DH for this Slammer squad. First pitch taken for a strike, and McAuliffe gets ahead of him 0-1. Again, McAuliffe has done so well all year. His limit walks. He struck out a lot of batters. And again, outside of that outing against Washington, he's been very good. 0-1 fouled off, and now we have an 0-2 count. That one down at 85 miles per hour at the bottom of the zone. Came in with runners on second and third with one out, and looked like he had gotten out of the inning, giving up no runs, but the bang-bang call over at first allowed a run to score. 0-2 pitch in the dirt. Barry holds off. It's a 1-2 count now. But managed a strikeout to end the inning. So the Otters still with a one-run lead. Stands on the first base side of the rubber with a 1-2 count to the Slammers DH. Lifted high in the air towards right. On his way back to the track is Benson at the wall and brings it in for a loud out number 1. Loud out. Saw a lot of those in last inning, and we see one there. Left a 86 mile per hour pitch, low and in, and Barry made loud contact, 92 off the bat, but just didn't get enough on it. And with one away, it's Jose Contreras. First pitch, chopper, but foul. 0 for 1, I should say 1 for 3 on the day. Struck out his first time, did single, but then was picked off trying to steal third. And then a reached by an error and was picked off trying to steal second. A couple of pickoffs from Braden Scott. The 0-1. Swung through that one at 94 miles per hour. And now there's 2 away. So there's 2 strikes in this at-bat. A call set. And in the windup, the 0-2 pitch. Chopper towards third. Pavin dives, but can't bring it in. A one-out hit for Jose Contreras, the third time he's reached today. And with one away, it's Antonio Valdez. Valdez was hit by a pitch his first at-bat, and then is 0 for 2 since then. This will be the first time he's batting in the left-handed batter's box today. But now Max Peterson out there to talk with his pitcher. Alex Valdez just started warming up in the bullpen. Still a conversation out there. They'll leave McAuliffe out there. The tying run on first, the go-ahead run at the plate, and Antonio Valdez. Valdez worked an inning and 2/3. Only faced 5 batters. Struck out 2. Should say struck out 3. See what the plan is here. Well, it's McAuliffe sitting right now. First pitch to Valdez. That one stays high, and he's have to work from behind 1-0. Some nerve-wracking baseball here in this one. The Otters had a 3-1 lead before the bottom of the 7th inning. It's a 3-2 lead right now. Check over at first. Contreras gets back. An 0-2 single put him on base. Now McAuliffe set, delivers. That one hit him, but it looked like he leaned into it. Well, it's going to be a hit by pitch. Now the runners on first and second with only 1 away. Really looked like he leaned in that front elbow, but it's called a ball. Or it's called a hit by pitch, I should say. And looks like that's going to do it for McAuliffe. They're going to bring in Valdez to try to shut this one down. When we come back, we'll talk more about them. Otters leading by 1, but Joliet threatening. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network and 96.9 WYIR.
Right now in Vanderburgh County, over 800 children are in the child welfare system waiting for someone to be their voice, and you could be that voice by becoming a court-appointed special advocate, a CASA volunteer. Donating just a few hours a month of your time can change a child's life forever. Vanderburgh County CASA invites you to join them. Stand up, speak out, be for the child, be a CASA. For more information, visit vandcasa.com. That's VAND-CASA.com. Ballet Indiana is made up of local ballet professionals, dedicated parents, and community members in order to provide unique and life-enriching experiences for hundreds of young dancers, while carrying out their mission to inspire a lifelong appreciation for dance for both our dancers and the Evansville community. More information on Ballet Indiana and information about their upcoming performances is available at balletindiana.org. Maintaining our independence becomes more and more vital as we age. Swerka and more can help you navigate this important journey by answering your questions and connecting you to free and unbiased community resources and support services. If you are seeking advice for yourself or a loved one, let Swerka be your first call. More information available at swerka.org or by calling 812-464-7800.
Alex Valdez enters to shut the door. Valdez on the mound. Felix behind the plate. That pitcher and catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find your need to the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Greenwood Road, or call 812-475-9000. Valdez enters to try to shut the door here in the 8th, and assumedly, if he can get out of the 8th, close the door in the 9th inning. But he's got to go through Brandon Heidel first, followed by Goldstein, who entered. Dylan Goldstein. So Heidel enters the right-handed batter's box. Tying run at second. Go-ahead run at first. First pitch from Valdez. Checked his swing. Not called a strike. Starts behind 1-0. Valdez, the most trusted arm out of the bullpen right now. And a huge moment for Evansville. The 1-0 pitch to Heidel. Checked his swing. He did go, says the first base umpire, and now the count evens up at 1-1. Saul Valdez, in the first game of the series, went an inning into third, struck out 3, faced the minimum, trying to do the same here. That one hard hit towards short. Cruz slides and brings it in. Throw to second in time for 1, throw to first, no throw. But they do get a big out number 2 as they cut down that runner at second base.
Now batting for the Slammers, left fielder number 7, Dylan Goldstein.
Next is Dylan Goldstein. One at bat today, he walked. In a huge moment. We're going to get a pinch runner over at first. It's Dylan Robertson who will pinch run over at first. He'll pinch run for Brandon Heidel. Valdez with 2 away here in this inning. Looks in. First pitch. In there for a strike. Starts ahead 0-1. That one at 93 miles per hour. Goldstein, another guy that crowds the plate here. Now he's a little bit off after that 93 mile per hour, but he is in the back of the box. The 0-1 swung through that one after he pulled a string, and now it's 0-2. Valdez trying to work some magic here. Valdez in the third base side of the rubber. Looks into Felix. He agrees, and now he's set. The 0-2 pitch to Goldstein. In the dirt, stopped by Felix. It's right behind him, but the runner will advance to second base, but it wasn't nearly far enough for anyone to advance from third. So now the count moves to 1-2. Got the plate, still all what matters. Although the go-ahead run is at second base now. Mentioned the pinch runner, Dylan Robertson at second base. At third is Contreras, who got a one-out single. Valdez looks in, and now he comes set. The 1-2 pitch to Goldstein. Fouls that one off, and we'll do it again. It's 3 runs on 5 hits for Evansville, 2 runs on 7 hits for Joliet. Both runners in scoring position. Valdez is set. The next 1-2. Lined in right field. That's going to get down for a base hit. 1 run's going to come to score. They're going to send in Robertson. Throw to the plate's going to be up the line. The tag. Not in time. He dropped the ball anyways. A 2-strike hit for Dylan Goldstein has given Joliet the lead. Now Valdez is going to have to reset here and get the next guy, Chris Davis. Valdez is set and delivers. First pitch swinging, he missed that one, and he's behind 0-1. For Evansville, it's going to be Keenan Taylor, J.J. Cruz, Justin Felix. Valdez looks in and delivers the 0-1. Hard towards first. Mendham brings it in. He'll tag first for the out, but Joliet gets 2 more. They take a 4-3 lead as we head to the top of the 9th inning. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network and our 96.9 WYIR.
Originally opening in 2004, Jacobs Village has been a home for adults with disabilities, giving these great residents a wonderful opportunity to live life just like you and me. Jacobs Village mission is to continue building a safe, walkable neighborhood community where people with disabilities and older adults can find meaningful relationships, affordable and accessible housing, and activities to keep their bodies and minds engaged. We can't wait to have Jacobs Village at the ballpark on July 3rd for our annual Red, White, and Blue Night. More information on this great community partner is available at jacobsvillage.org. Right now in Vanderburgh County, over 800 children are in the child welfare system waiting for someone to be their voice, and you could be that voice by becoming a court-appointed special advocate, a CASA volunteer. Donating just a few hours a month of your time can change a child's life forever. Vanderburgh County CASA invites you to join them. Stand up, speak out, be for the child, be a CASA. For more information, visit vandcasa.com. That's VAND-CASA.com.
The Otters need a run here in the top of the 9th inning. They'll have to face a new pitcher. That is Grayson Linderman. Linderman on the mound behind the plate is now Drew Stengren. That pitcher and catcher battery is sponsored by the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or called 812-475-9000. J.J. Cruz will be the first to meet him. Keenan Taylor will be the first to meet him. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. Taylor now ready, steps into the box. Linderman enters with a 5.40 ERA, does have 4 saves. The Otters saw him in game 1 of the series. First pitch taken for a strike. Taylor starts behind 0-1. They managed to score a run off of him. It was the Pavin Parks home run that they scored. Next pitch to Taylor, lifted high into the air, but into foul territory. Over is Batty Paglia towards the Otters dugout. He's going to lean, but it's going to get off the mesh fence and just be a strike number 2. So Pinto's going to go out there and talk with him, but it did very clearly go off the mesh fence, no question about it. I know Batty Paglia tried to say he caught it, but it wasn't. So now counts 0-2 to Taylor as he has to battle. Linderman is set on the first base side of the rubber. The right-hander deals. That one is fouled up overhead as Taylor does well to stay alive. That overhead foul ball brought to you by Heads Construction. Choose the best, never regret it. The Otters trying to rally one more time. Need a run here in the 9th inning. 0-2 checked his swing. He did go, says the first base umpire. Couldn't pull it back in time, and now out number 1. That is not what the Otters needed. Next is J.J. Cruz. His home run back in the 7th, then made it 3-1. He'll be in the left-handed batter's box, awaiting the first pitch. Watches that one for a ball, and he starts ahead 1-0. A couple of questionable calls. Not saying there's a difference, but just part of the game. 0-1 or 1-0 popped up. That one's going to get out of play and even it up at 1-1. At this point, they at least loom large. The safe call over at first between Batty Paglia. That allowed a run to score, and then the no call of Valdez sticking his arm out. Count 1-1 to J.J. Cruz. Hard towards first, but right at the first baseman, Contreras. 104 off the bat, doesn't matter. Another hard hit out for the Otters, and now they're down to their final out. It's going to be Logan Brown pinch hitting for Justin Felix. He'll step into the left-handed batter's box. He's trying to extend this game to at least one more batter. The wind blowing out towards left center or dead center. Linderman is set. The first pitch to Brown, swinging, fouls it off, starts behind 0-1. Brown likes to attack the first pitch, did there, but pitch that was a little bit outside the zone. Brown in the left-handed batter's box. Awaiting the 0-1 pitch. That one inside and low. Evens it up at 1-1. Now they'll count it 1-1 to the Otters. Pinch hitter fouls that one off, and the Otters down to their final strike. Brown had his 400th career hit in the game last night. Got it in the 8th inning. Ellis Schwartz awaiting on deck with his big 2-for-3 game. Linderman looks in, now is set. Last pitch was at 93, now delivers. That one low. Brown holds off, and we have a 2-2 count. Also looming large, some of those hits that just were caught at the warning track. 2-2, hard hit towards second. Valdez sliding, makes the grab, throw to first in time for out number 3. A great defensive play to end it for Joliet as they win 4-3 after a 2-run 8th inning gave them the lead. We'll talk more about it on the Otters post-game show. You're listening to the Otters Digital Network.
Ballet Indiana is made up of local ballet professionals, dedicated parents, and community members in order to provide unique and life-enriching experiences for hundreds of young dancers, while carrying out their mission to inspire a lifelong appreciation for dance for both our dancers and the Evansville community. More information on Ballet Indiana and information about their upcoming performances is available at balletindiana.org.
Welcome into the Papa John's postgame show. Remember that Papa John's is the official sponsor of every Otters pregame and postgame shows, available every game night, 20 minutes before and 10 minutes after each Otters game on the Otters Digital Network, Home Team Network, and on 96.9 WYIR. The Otters' elusive first road series win eludes them once again with a late eighth inning rally from Joliet to give them a 4-3 victory. Started with Braden Scott, who looked fantastic. Gave up that 1 run in the first inning, but after that, really locked in to shut down Joliet offensively. He went 6 1/3 innings, ended up with a quality start, giving up 2 runs, 5 hits, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. That second run came when McAuliffe came in. Again, I'll say it again, looked like that play at first should have been out. Should have only been 1 run, but that's up here, and there's no replay in the Frontier League. Followed by McAuliffe, who did come in, looked good, but that second inning of work where he tried to work a clean 8th didn't look as great. Valdez came in, finished off the 8th inning with 2/3 of an inning, but that 1 hit from Dylan Goldstein, the difference is his hit scored both runners that were at second and third, giving them a 4-3 lead that the Evansville Otters couldn't come back from. Offensively, it wasn't a fantastic game, but it was a fantastic game from Ellis Schwartz. 2 hits on 3 at-bats, 2 extra base hits, a triple and a home run. Scored both of the first 2 runs after Graham Brown had the sac fly. And overall was a great performance from him when he stepped up. JJ Cruz also had a solo shot. Mendham went 2 for 3. Paving Parks walked twice and went 0 for 2, and Graham Brown that sac fly. And some more hard hit balls. LJ Jones had a couple of them that were hit extremely hard. Benson had a really hard hit one. Brown hit a couple of really hard hit balls. So another game where the offense looked good, but just couldn't get it done. And even when they were hitting the ball hard, it just wasn't enough. McAuliffe's going to get credited for, I stand corrected, it's going to be Valdez who gets credited for the loss. He stepped in a very tough spot. Looked like he was going to get it done, but just couldn't. The win for Joliet's going to go to Cameron Smith, who was in when they took the lead. And the Otters only take game 1, can't take the last 2, and now they will take their off day on Monday before traveling out to Gateway for a 3-game set in Gateway. The Grizzlies going to be a tough matchup, as always, within the Frontier League. Game 1 on Tuesday at 6:30, Game 2 on Wednesday at 6:05, and then Game 3, a 10:45 a.m. start. An early one on Thursday before they come back home to play Florence in Bosse Field. That was the Papa John's postgame show. Thank you so much for joining us on this road trip to Joliet. Hope you join us to Gateway. That was Otters baseball. And I'm Lucas Macklin signing off. Have a blessed day.